Hooray.
Jordan Peterson's pals.
the Peter Pals, is that what we're doing? Oh my goodness. Let me just hit enter on a few places, send out the...
Holy shit, now I need to make an alt-right tag team.
I mean, you already have the cops, don't you?
No.
I've got Deputy Newland.
Yeah.
I thought you had your own. Was I mistaken?
I might have one of them, but I don't think I definitely don't have
he's got
both.
the other one.
Okay.
I think he's got the other one.
We got our music.
Oh, hell yeah. This is like UFC, the UFC video game music.
Let's go.
Yes. Copyright free, motherfuckers! Which is the #1 quality I look for in music.
Yes.
This is fair. Do I have one of the cops? Do I have a cop?
You do. You have the other one.
I don't see him on here.
I definitely had a rule against not drafting the cops, so...
I'm pretty sure I don't. I'm pretty sure the other one Eduardo has.
Oh, is that who has it?
I think so.
We can figure this out.
We're gonna look for it on the...
Yeah, we have ways of figuring this out.
What are we looking for, sorry?
Do you have the other cop, Eduardo?
The other what?
The
other cop.
Cop wrestler.
That goes with...
Oh yeah, I do have Officer Grabowski, yes.
Oh, he does.
Oh,
He's
you
got
have the
Officer
cops,
Grabowski.
right?
Okay.
Okay, got it.
I did want to get both of them. I was thinking about getting both of them and creating a very racist Irish trio, but...
Oh, man. As much fun as that would have been, I feel like maybe the direction you went in worked out just fine.
They would have been called The Departed. Sorry.
Oh,
The
God.
Departed.
The Departed.
Because they're wicked smart.
The Departed.
So I actually have a question. So I was listening to the Ryan Russillo podcast, and one of his listeners emailed in saying that their new favorite like party conversation thing was to ask which was better, The Departed or The Town.
Uh-huh.
So I pose this question to all of you, if you have watched both of those movies, which is better, The Departed or The Town?
The Departed.
I have not seen either of these movies.
What?
Fantastic.
Wow.
I've not seen
I can
either
tell
of
you've
them
never
either.
seen The Departed. Not seeing The Town actually is like whatever, but not having seen The Departed is kind of crazy, not gonna lie.
Yeah, not seeing The
What's The
Departed.
Departed?
That's an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, that's like equivalent to have not seen the modern Godfather, if you will. Like I mean, I can't think of another more apt
So is
analogy for that movie
would-
specifically.
Would this be a bad time to say that I've never watched The Godfather either?
Oh God.
Oh yeah, no,
I've never
that's
seen it.
Given that I know some of the movies you have seen, yes it is. Okay,
Well, look, I may or may not have watched the 6-hour Ingmar Bergman miniseries like a week and a half ago. But that doesn't mean that I've seen The Departed. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh God, Chase, why? Okay, all right.
I mean, like it has like a cool cast. It has this Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's pretty popular. I've never seen a DiCaprio movie, but I think he's like.
Among teenagers.
What?
Wait, really? Hold on.
No, wait, I've seen one. It's called Django Unchained.
Okay.
That's the only DiCaprio movie I watch.
Well, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie that features DiCaprio, but yeah, right on.
It counts. It
I
counts.
thought Eduardo was trolling us, but...
I have a lot of comments for all of you, but I'm not gonna say any of them
But
because.
I have watched all of the Godfather movies, so.
Okay, well at least there's that.
That is fair.
And I do enjoy them very much. Not as much as the novels, but they're pretty good. They're pretty well done.
I can't get over that Chase hasn't seen The Departed or The Godfather.
I haven't seen
Neither of them. That's
I
crazy.
just realized that The Departed existed, so.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. And you're not
That's
like
fair, Eduardo.
you also have the out in that you're not from the United States, so it's not like an expectation that you would have caught it on TV at some point, or that some family member would have been like, "Hey, watch this so we can talk about it," right? I genuinely have
don't
no
think that
idea how
has
Chase
been
has made it this far without having seen that movie. That's crazy to me. It's
I
crazy.
think Chase has like the least excuse too because he like has family from Boston.
Yeah, and he does a movie plot. Chase, we're giving you a hard time about this. I'm sorry, but like this is mind-blowing information. I'm genuinely stunned right now.
Viewers, get in the comments. Have you seen The Departed? Am I wrong for having not seen it?
Do you know which movie I have watched? It's called The Blues Brothers, and I think it's also like a symbolic US
Now
film.
that's a banger. That's a banger.
That is a banger. That is a banger.
They're on a mission from God, so.
100%. And we are on a mission tonight. Segue, because it is the gold pay-per-views. Our first.
Just like I'm on a mission from God to win this event. So.
That's certainly what the Campeonato de Luchasaur believes heading into tonight. We have our first gold pay-per-view of the year of this competition of ours that has been going on. This is the third pay-per-view. If you haven't been following, we've been doing the pay-per-views every 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 more weeks to do our next one. But we've also been doing weekly shows that you can find on my personal YouTube channel. If you want to look those up. We have been tracking our results, and we are here today, the culmination of the first 3 months of this game's effort, all coming down to tonight. We have Walter, who currently has 0 points, would love to get on the board, and may, for the first time in this competition's history, be playing the video game in our video game competition, which could really throw a wrench in everyone else's plans tonight. We also have Eduardo, who just got his first half point on the board, tying me in the weeklies for this last set. Really should have won. The game absolutely screwed you on your 2 Iron Man matches that closed out your card, but you've managed to put together quite the card tonight despite a lower budget than the rest of us had available. Xander, you have not scored a point since the first week of the competition. You won the first pay-per-view, you put yourself on the map, and you sure have won a lot of fans, but we're here about the highest quality of wrestling. And you are trying to prove that you can do that as well with your 1 point on the board. And of course, there is me, the guy who runs this league and who had played this game before, currently sitting comfortably with 2.5 points, thanks to my performance in both sets of weeklies and the second pay-per-view. But this gold show is where.
Wait, how's Walter doing again?
He's happy to be here, man. He's doing a great job. He's bringing narrative. He is bringing some story, and I do, like, memes aside, I do believe that Walter's card tonight is the best card he's ever made, and I don't think it's close.
User has left the chat.
I think talking trash is fun. I think anyone underestimating Walter tonight just because of the scoreboard would be making a big mistake. That's all I can say about that until we get there. And usually, we would start with Walter because he is the lowest scoring performer from the last set of weeklies. But there's this thing called time zones. Some of our viewers may be aware of those. And what it means is that...
can you fill me in? What are time zones?
Yeah, so, the time that it is right now where you are isn't the same time that it is everywhere else.
Ah, understood. Okay, interesting. I had never thought of this concept.
One of our competitors is based in Chile, where it is a very different time and a much later time than the rest of us competitors here. So, despite the fact that Eduardo tied for first in this last set of weeklies, he is going to start our competition tonight with the coup de grace, his gold pay-per-view, the signature pay-per-view of the Campeonato de Luchasaur. Eduardo, talk us through, on a general sense, how did this card come together? What can people expect tonight?
I think they can expect basically total non-stop action. Is that copyrighted? Well, they can expect a lot of hype matches, a lot of huge moments, and maybe a couple of surprises. I don't think I will have the most matches tonight, but maybe the second most. That's all I'm going to spoil.
Yeah. Well, let's see exactly what you have planned. We are jumping on in to the coup de grace event. Look at that poster. What a banger here. We don't read the Wrestling Spectator. We're not going to get caught up in the news or the predictions. Writers don't know shit. That's the thing that all of us, multiple of whom have been professional writers before, can all agree. It's about the show itself. And Eduardo, we're starting with the Campeonato A2 Championship. Tell me about this match and how it came together.
Yeah, this is basically our mid-card equivalent from the, I guess, mid or upper card championship. This is our silver championship. And basically, it shows the great rivalry between these two incredibly talented wrestlers, very technical, both of them. Ametralladora Anderson and Liam Draco. Liam Draco comes from an entire generation. He's third generation wrestler. While Ametralladora Anderson actually is a rising star from the Indies. So we'll see which one takes the win tonight.
Yeah, Xander, where do you think this one's going? This unsanctioned match we got here.
This is a big unsanctioned match here. You've got Liam, you've got Ametralladora. I like both these wrestlers. I do think that, from a points perspective, it benefits to give Ametralladora, the win here. He's so close to being at that popularity cap of 800, and then his overness also taking a hit is dangerous. So I think you give him the win here. You let him take the belt off on the gold pay-per-view and hopefully get a huge crowd swell from it. But I'm curious to see where it's going.
What about you, Walter?
I would agree with my fellow analyst desk compatriot there. Putting the belt on Anderson would make the most sense for the game mechanics themselves. But as we know, I don't like game mechanics. Keep it on the babyface. Keep it on Liam Draco. Keep him going strong, because you do risk him falling out of that main event popularity numbers. So keep it on the champ. You can always rehab Anderson with your mid-card belt later on.
It's funny because there seems to be perhaps some stirring backstage. Liam Draco is going to get the win here. He is going to maintain his title with a 5-star match, cementing him as the champion of this belt. But what's this? Adriano Cicelli from backstage with his guitar has charged the ring. Who could have seen this coming? He's going to take advantage of a tired Liam Draco and take the title for himself. Who could have seen that coming?
That's actually pretty
Pace?
cool, not gonna lie.
I would like you to double check with me the next results, because that was not the result written in the...
That's absolutely what the result was written. I'm reading it right now. What are you talking about? It says Cicelli win on the document. Oh. Wait,
but Anderson was meant to take the win over Draco.
Oh. Oh, I totally misread that. Oh, wow. I had a... Okay, well... Shit. Okay, we are going to confirm...
But the promotion anyways. I don't know why am I the manager? Just carry Chase, bro. We
Oh, man. I'm so fucking done, man. I just... I went over it with you in a call. I went over it with you in a call. I wrote it all out. I had the Adriano. I was so proud of myself because I remembered the cash-in and I remembered...
Yeah, everything else was perfect.
We
but...
practiced the whole thing. Well, I mean, okay, so here's the good news. Is that that negativity hit would have been worse for your guy anyway. I think that might have been the better concept. I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
we'll continue with the card. It was still like a hype match.
It's so funny.
Oh my. Okay, so I am gonna confirm with you. I will say, in my defense, we did ask before the call who wants to confirm with me that the result was correct, and Eduardo said don't confirm with me. So
I chose to trust Chase.
of
I
all
chose
people should not have trusted me. You know better.
Yeah,
You know
that's
better.
actually, Eduardo, fool me once, right? Shame on you. Fool me 3 times.
I swear to God.
I just want to say that it's past midnight now, so it's no longer Innocent's Day, Chase. You can be right now.
Oh my God. Look, the important thing is the title was cashed in. Adriano Cicelli was the man meant to win. I'm going to cope for the rest of the evening on this. We're going to move on. Tell us about your Guardianes de Pucara Masculino Championship here, Eduardo.
Okay, so I will actually refer to your notes, and I'm pretty sure, okay, so, no, wait, I actually just need to hype up. Well, the Constellation have been on a losing streak, but they are very, well-made, tag team. They work very well together. They've been working together since they were, in the training development center. Well, the Hiroshima Hotties, they actually come from, from New Japan, I borrowed them from there. They're like very talented wrestlers. They're also under the guidance of Arcángel del Fuego, who's been like teaching them their best like high flying moves.
That's true. Walter, who would you give this win to?
I think you keep this with the champs, the Hiroshima Hotties. I know you've got them on loan from New Japan, but I'm sure New Japan would like you to get them over, get them main event ready before they call them back. And El Arcángel del Fuego, he doesn't cheers losers.
Do you agree, Xander?
I do agree. I keep it with the Hiroshima Hotties.
Okay. Eduardo, do you agree with their analysis here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I agree.
Okay. I'm going to confirm from now on. I'm not doing this again. I can't keep doing this. But hey, there you go. Look at that, a near 6-star match. The Hiroshima Hotties, fan favorites,
Nice.
escaping the cage, maintaining their title. The Constellation maybe takes a bit of an overness hit. That is unfortunate, but the Hiroshima Hotties get a big overness boost with that feud. And it does get Toru Miyamura over with the fans, which gets him that extra star moving forward. It is an over 5-star feud resolve, which is huge for getting better wrestler experience. You've leveled up your steel cage match, which gives you a popularity boost and unlocks the steel cell. And oh, by the way, holy shit moment first of the evening.
This is my first holy shit moment in 3 weeks.
The game has been stingy with you, but by God did you earn it with this match. Kanata Yoshiwara hitting Clayton Brown with a frog splash off the top of the cage. That's 30 creativity points. That's a 6-star, near 6-star match, near 6-star feud. Just a big win across the board for the Hiroshima Hotties and the Campeonato de Luchasaur. We move on now to the Campeonato Cuyan championship. And again, apologies for my pronunciation across the board. One day, I will actually take the time to learn how to pronounce these things. But tell us about this match that we have in front of us here, Eduardo.
Well, Violetta's the retaining champ. She's been like a queen ever since like the promotion started, basically. The Violet one, she's very popular with the fans, almost at 1,000 popularity after all her promos. She's very young, and he's undefeated in her streak. Leila Avalos is looking to end that undefeated streak. She's a 29-year-old heel with that's also fairly over with the fans, over 90%. I think she wants to like end things her way now, like just prove that this undefeated giantess in Violetta can be defeated, like that gods can bleed in a sense.
Absolutely. Can these gods bleed, Xander? Do you think that this is the time that Violetta falls?
Man, it's so hard because I can see pushing Layla up higher, but Violetta is on that cusp of becoming a face of the company as a face. Hasn't lost yet. 100% overness, 100% morale. So I genuinely can see this going either way. I want to say, however, that knowing Eduardo, he gives it to Layla, but maybe there's some kind of wacky cash-in moment also available.
What about you, Walter?
So I actually think getting the belt off of Violetta is the right move here. That way you can go ahead and ding that popularity now, but you can build her up into your main event title scene to help get her back to that, face of the company kind of status. Give her the hit now. You're going to give her a bunch of wins to get her back up there, actually challenging for the big belt. So I would agree Layla would be the winner here.
What do you think, Eduardo? Who am I locking in here?
Oh, Layla for sure. She's gonna end this undefeated streak by Violetta. Keep things interesting
She
for the
is
fans.
too pretty to fail, and she is too pretty to lose. That's a 6-star match. Our first 6-star match of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
There you go. That feud just became hot, which means that you have a lot more room to expand that out. Violetta's gimmick improves. The feud was blown off, but look at that. A near 6-star blow-off, which is a huge boost for the experience of that particular feud type. You're going to start seeing these feuds are going to get better as companies start resolving the things that they focused on most. What a match. What a start to this card. 5-star, near 6-star, and now 6-star. The hits keep on coming with the Campeonato de Luchasaur. And we don't stop. It don't stop coming, and it don't stop coming because we've got the Toki Championship in a 10-way ladder match. Eduardo, talk us through this one.
Okay, so this is basically our main, I would say most people event. We're gonna have Conrad Supernova trying to defend the Toki champion not against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, against 9 opponents at the same time. And we have some very heavy hitters here, like David Darmela, Brady Velasquez, Chacal Pro, Kenji Ryota, and Shinji are also here. It really can go anywhere in this elimination match, if I'm if I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite the stacked roster here. Xander, does any name shine to you?
Can you go up a bit, Chase? Sorry?
To what are you trying to see here?
Yeah, is it an elimination match?
It is a ladder match, is what you...
Oh, ladder match. Yeah, no. So basically, any of these 10 guys can just climb the match and take it. Conrad Supernova is risking it all by exposing his title here.
Absolutely.
Man. Ooh, this is rough. I would say you keep Conrad with the title. Honestly, looking at this, he's a 3-3. He's wrestling a lot of talented wrestlers. The match is still going to be good. He's close on that popularity cusp. You want to get him further up, but yeah, I'm giving it to Conrad here.
What about you, Walter? Where are you going?
Probably say keep it with Conrad as well, but I did see as you hovered over Brady Velasquez there, looks like he was at 81% overness, so maybe 82% overness. So there is a chance where if he isn't, doesn't maintain that overness, he's going to lose one of those stars. So I'll say Brady Velasquez takes the win.
Okay. Which one of our casters here is right, Eduardo?
Dun dun dun, building suspense.
Of course, we're absolutely going to keep the Supernova rolling.
Absolutely.
Supernova, let's go. And as someone that used to coach Supernova, okay, I'm really happy to see the win go here.
Absolutely, and look at that, another 5.5-star match, and a hot match to boot. Conrad Supernova officially over with the fans as if there was ever a doubt. His gimmick improves. The hot feud between Jordan and Dywick giving more room for their feud in the future. And our second holy shit moment of the night with Conrad Supernova hitting Dywick with a leg drop off the ladder. The fans are going crazy. The Toki Championship continuing to improve and get some valuable experience here. And just, man, banger after banger after banger in the Campeonato.
I've gotten as much holy shit moments this pay-per-view as my entire month, so I'm happy about that.
That is very true. But you also have a nice feud package here, and we'd like to talk about our producers being found in the kind of communal dumpster that is outside of all of our studios. But in this case, this is a pretty solid feud package. You've got Isamu Masucci and Chichiro Ishihara, who we'll be seeing later in this card. This is your main event, I believe. Is that right?
That's correct.
So plenty to look forward to here as Vince Bailey.
Absolutely not a title that switch hands unexpectedly to Chase.
No. There's not a history of misclicks that makes each one both funnier and worse, regardless of how well they do. Oh, man. Well,
I mean, they both held the titles, so that will make that very even more interesting.
That's true.
Yep.
And what's going to be interesting is this 8-way elimination match. This is our first without a title on the line, as I can see here. Alyssa Rose choosing not to put her briefcase up. Tell us a little bit about this match here, Eduardo.
I mean, Alyssa Rose is just going to save her briefcase for when it matters. There's really no need to put it here on the line. It's still going to be a fight for the honor of all these, basically all the main eventers from the female division are here. Suki Akiyama, Alyssa Rose, Madison Margot, Skull Dredson, and Gina Gazzani. So yeah, this is going to be our first elimination match in our company. So we're gonna see how it goes. And you only need to get eliminated once to be entirely out of this running.
Walter, where do you think this one's going with this crew of 8 talented female wrestlers?
I think I think you have to give it to Alyssa Rose here. She is the briefcase holder, and just keep building her up, get her prepared for when she does try to cash that in, most likely on your main eventer. But I see no reason for her to lose here. And as you're kind of going through all of these contenders, I don't see anyone else that sticks out.
What about you, Xander? Do you believe that there's a contender in this mix that Walter's missing?
I'm close on Gina Akatani, only because I feel like Gina maybe deserves to have a win before she inevitably breaks a hip from old age. But otherwise, I don't see anyone here. I could see an argument for Suki getting it. And Madison's like a 3-3, so someone that's talented that could get pushed up. But I think you just keep it, or you keep the win with Alyssa here.
Okay, well, we've got two casters predicting Alyssa here, Eduardo. Are they right?
I don't think either of them is right. I think that the reason they didn't see it is because there's a new star looking to be born here.
Oh.
And who would that be?
Amber Manning, of course.
Amber Manning, indeed. The former volleyball player. I'm not sure about her gimmick, but I do like the fact that with this win, she is a main eventer, and that's an over 5-star match, ladies and gentlemen. A reminder, you do not need a title on the line to make a banger of a match. The card seems to be with you tonight. Amber Manning, Alyssa Rose does get a nice elimination here before being taken out herself by Amber Manning towards the end, but it's been all Amber all night long. And Amber Manning very close to getting over with the fans. She got a big boost as a result of this match. No holy shit moment, but a nice 41 experience points on elimination. One more elimination match and you're going to level that up and get whatever boost comes from that. And just look, all of these gimmick matches have increased the effect for the match and for this event as a whole. You are seeing that hype just continue to build and build and build. But we move on now to a street fight match between two guys that have been shooting for a while here. Tell us about this one, Eduardo.
This is basically a long-standing feud that has been between two very talented wrestlers, Nightmare Blue and Tyflo, the ruler of the Sapphire Kingdom versus Flawless. Also, this is a street fight, which means almost everything's allowed.
Yeah, we've got a tennis racket in one hand and a crutch in the other. They picked interesting weapons to bring here. Walter, who do you think should take this one?
I say you keep it with Nightmare Blue, keep that popularity up. And, it looks like maybe this might possibly be a blow-off to this feud. Let him get away from Tyflaw and move on to bigger and better things.
What about you, Xander?
I'm torn here. I can really see this going either way. I like giving it to Nightmare Blue here, though, just because Nightmare Blue is on the cusp of falling down. And the hit that you take from dropping that 800 is a lot bigger than, than taking a hit any other time. So, I think it makes sense if you want to build Tyflaw up and you're willing to let Nightmare Blue take the hit. But, like I said, I think that giving the hit on this big of a stage could be a big backfire here for Nightmare Blue. And if you want to use him later, it could become problematic. So... I could see it going both ways, is the honest answer. I will say it's probably going to Tyflaw, though.
Okay, we've got one caster Tyflaw, one caster Nightmare Blue. Eduardo, who is taking home the win in this street fight?
Obviously, it's going to be Tyflaw. He's flawless.
Yep.
He is absolutely flawless, and that match is absolutely flawless. A hype match. They both improve in overness. They both improve in morale. They both improve in popularity, and that is another near 6-star match. This is what happens when you build your card.
And a holy shit moment.
And a holy shit moment. Tyflaw was about to hit Nightmare Blue with a finisher before both of them collapsed from exhaustion. Obviously, he got back up and was able to rally, but Tyflaw is now at 100% overness as a result of this match. And oh my goodness, I mean, this is how you build a card for the biggest pay-per-view of the year. You picked feuds that were hot. You picked feuds people knew they wanted to see, these big match specialists who were going to step up when it mattered. And oh boy, has it paid off. I mean, outside of your segment, your worst match of the night has been 5 stars. This is insane. This is insane. This is the coup de grace, to be sure. But we move on to another street fight match. This time between two hot female wrestlers. And I mean that both in more in popularity than anything. Eduardo, tell us about this feud that you have here.
We'll have Juno Ripshaw on one side, Pink Arrow on the other. We have a lot of things they can hit each other with in the middle. What's not to love?
That's absolutely true. Xander, you called it on the last match. Who do you think's got this one?
Juno. It's going to Juno. I like Pink Arrow's cool and all, but it's going to Juno. I think Juno's gonna smack her with that crutch she's holding, and it's just Jover for Pink Arrow.
Do you concur, Walter?
I absolutely concur. Juno Ripshaw, Pink Arrow isn't on her level.
Eduardo, are they right?
I think for the first time tonight, they're both right.
There it is. Juno Ripshaw is going to take the win. It is a 4 and some change star match, but it is a match that's going to get Juno Ripshaw into the main eventer threshold. That is 807 popularity, which you do love to see. And holy shit moment, your 4th holy shit moment of the night. Juno Ripshaw hit the Pink Arrow with 3 consecutive finishers, which gives her an overness boost that is going to pay dividends in the long run. She is beloved by the fans, and they can look forward to some pretty hype things to come in the now that she is a main eventer. We have 4 more matches, and now we start to get into the part of the card that features some interesting dynamics that may or may not have been originally planned by Eduardo. Talk us through the Guardianes de Pucara Femenino championship match here, Eduardo.
That's the division of our doubles. The Phantom Troop and on the one side Bittersweet, which recently have formed a very strong faction, and they looked like they were going to be unstoppable until the Phantom Troop put a finish to them. Very unexpectedly in a weekly show, if I remember correctly. So now they're going here to, like,
including me. It was not planned per se, but here we are.
So here they are in a steel cage to settle this once for all. Who should be like the legitimate title holder?
Walter, where do you see this one going?
Yeah, we're gonna be fixing the ghosts of Christmas past here, so to speak. Put it back on Bittersweet.
Do you concur, Xander?
I do concur. Well, actually, this is rough. I do think Bittersweet should take it because they're the ones that benefit the new faction and all that. But I mean, Phantom Troop, I don't know how long they've held this belt. I feel like they could still use a bit of a boost, on the overness and the pop from keeping it. So I am gonna say it goes to Bittersweet, but if it were me, I'd keep it on Phantom Troop.
Okay, is it going to Bittersweet, Eduardo?
Yeah, it is going back to the definitive winners, Bittersweet. No, wait, actually, no, can you refer to your notes?
I'm sorry?
Can you refer to your notes? I did not write it down.
You did put Bittersweet, I believe.
Okay, perfect. Then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now I have to double check myself because I really thought I wrote everything down correctly. But yes,
yeah,
I can confirm Bittersweet is the one that's highlighted here. Bittersweet is taking it again. Back where they belong, back to being over with the crowd. It is not going to be the highest rated match of the night, but it is going to put Bittersweet back at that threshold that they deserve to be in, and it's going to build up that feud a little bit more if Phantom Troop wants to try to reclaim that title at a future pay-per-view. But Bittersweet back to being the title holders they were always meant to be. But we have another match here. This one, no title attached, but 2 wrestlers who've been going back and forth on the weeklies and really made for some fun matches. Tell us about this one, Eduardo.
The Cameron Johnson, Ed Thompson. The matchup of the Sons.
It's true. Are you with us, Eduardo?
I just realized I was accidentally muted, but yeah, Cameron Johnson and Ed Thompson are actually formerly neighbors. They're going to high school together, and they became rivals since then. They're going to try to put an end to that tonight into a street fight where everything goes.
This street fight's gonna make or break one of these guys. Walter, who do you think is taking this one?
I think this one goes to Ed Thompson again. If we're looking at the statistics there, the overall, the overness for Ed Thompson sitting there right at 80. You want to make sure you keep him up there so you keep him as a 4-star. Cam Johnson can very clearly take the hit. And maybe if you're lucky, they both get over with this kind of a match. But I say Ed Thompson.
Okay. Do you concur, Xander?
I just like Ed Thompson's name more. Cameron Johnson, it's not as brief as the Ed Thompson. If you're going to have a last name like Thompson, which Cameron Johnson does, then you got to have a better first name. And Ed is just better than Cameron here. So I'm giving it to Ed.
Okay, we've got 2 votes for Ed. Eduardo, what say you?
No chance would say you.
Okay, well.
Cameron Johnson for sure.
Yeah, there it is. Cameron Johnson. There it is. Because Cameron Johnson had yet to get a win, Ed Thompson had one. And this is why you trust your gut with stuff like this. Cameron Johnson gets a big popularity push. Ed Thompson gets a smaller one. Both of them remain over. And you get that interesting story boost that turns this from a 5-star match to a 5.5-star match. Going to end up taking this feud. You have built it up well, and the crowd is clearly responding to it. A nice hot match there, and oh, by the way, another holy shit moment.
One more holy shit moment, yeah.
Cameron Johnson spearing Ed Thompson through the barricade. Fans are going crazy. That is number 5 of the night, which is everything you want to see. And I mean, obviously, you are seeing some nice results across the board. A little bit of a hit to the Guardianes de Pucará just because that reign did not last very long, but ultimately you were undoing the sins of a certain clicker in this show, and it's still a silver event, which is all that you really needed there. But oh man, this Cameron Johnson match worked exactly how you were hoping for. And now we get into some very exciting matches that are our 2 main championships, your gold star belts that are left on this card. Tell us about the Campeonato Ryan Championship here, Eduardo.
The Campeonato Ryan is the main eventer for our female wrestlers to have only the cream of the cream, Kelly Torres versus Hayley. The Tower has been standing tall so far. She's been undefeated in this league. She's very popular with fans, over 900 popularity. Hayley has been on a rough streak, but also as they did earlier tonight with Leila Avalos, she's trying to see if the Tower completes.
That's fair. Xander, do you think the Tower bleeds tonight?
I think Kelly Torres wins here.
Okay. Walter?
I am also going to agree. I believe Kelly Torres wins. I wouldn't be surprised if it went to Hayley, again, just because that overness, the morale is pretty low. But I just don't think now is the right time to take the belt off of Kelly Torres, unless perhaps there's a cash-in coming.
Well, Eduardo, it looks like we've got 2 people predicting Kelly Torres. Where do you say that this match goes?
I mean, I think it's going to go to Kelly Torres, but I think there's going to be a thingy first.
Is that true?
If you have different notes, trust your notes.
I did have something different written down from our call, but
yes, trust your notes. Trust your notes.
Okay.
They're more up to date than my memory.
Okay. I am going to click on the button for Hayley then, because that's what I have written down. And oh boy, did that work out for you? Kelly Torres loses a single popularity, but Hayley way over after that win. Way higher morale, way higher popularity. She is now well into the main eventer status, and a near 6-star match as that feud gets hot. Yes, I believe the thing that changed, Eduardo, if I remember correctly, is that this was originally going to be a cash-in, and when you put Alyssa in another match, you decided to change your mind on that. I believe is what changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's what changed, yeah.
For once,
You're
my notes were
correct.
Correct. Go team! I'm going to take that as my win for the night.
Your notes were correct the last time as well, but that's not what you...
Oh my goodness. Well, look at that 2/3 false.
I think, yeah, that's what's like the first 2 out of 3 false match in our history. So
we all realized, and I went through with the wrestlers as we our competitors, I should say, as we went through our cards, that some gimmicks do not show up in the main gimmick page when you're putting the matches together for reasons that I'm sure make sense to the developer of this game. but can sometimes mean that we don't always remember that these things are possible. And look at the result. Clearly, something that we're going to see maybe some other competitors look into moving forward. But we've got one more match tonight. We saw it hyped up earlier with the feud package. It is the Campeonato Andino Championship. Eduardo, tell us why this is the match of the night.
I mean, this is like the biggest main event. We have the strong style specialist Ishihara, sorry. And then we have the career killer in Masucci. These two have been going back and forth with the title holding. These are two of the most talented wrestlers I think our entire generation has seen. So they're going to show us tonight in a TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match if the career killer will cement his reign over the title, or if Ishihara, the strong style specialist, can take it back.
That is the question that is on everyone's mind. Walter, who do you think takes this one?
I think this stays with Masucci. I think that Eduardo is going to make some lemonades out of the lemons of accidentally moving the belt over. He is already working towards being a face of the company, and I think that is a massive thing that you could add here. These long-term rivals building out, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 2 years from now, you can always rely on them to put on a good match. We're going to keep the belt on the champion.
Okay, do you agree with that, Xander?
I do agree. I think Walter hit the nail on the head. I think that's just what you go with here.
Okay. Eduardo, you heard from our competitors. I will say, every time that they've made a prediction that the two of them have shared, and you've gone in the opposite direction, it has worked out very well for you. Is this another one of those times?
Let's hope it is, because Ishihara is going to take back his title first.
He sure is. And look at that, a 6-star match. Both of them maintain their popularity. Masucci may be a little bit unhappy, but let's face it, he shouldn't have had the title in the first place. And he knows it, I think, deep down. That TLC match effect does end up working out well. No more holy shit moment, but the belt remains prestigious. The TLC level up means that it'll be cheaper for you to do table, ladder, and chair matches in the future. And we're looking at another one. We're looking at quite a few championships, I should say, that have helped boost up a couple factions here. But that's going to do it for
I think they can screw me over. This should have definitely been an 8-star match.
8-star match.
Well, you are going to get 5.25 points here, Eduardo, which is a very admirable effort.
I think I also got almost as many creativity points as I spent in this card, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you had the 5 creativity points. I think the only matches, the feud package and the couple, the street fight and the Guardianes, is the only thing I can think about. Honestly, I thought this was going to be 5.5, but the bar has been set. This is the minimum that it is going to take from our competitors tonight if they're going to take home the gold medal. And I think that 301 hype is something that when we look at the tiebreaker, which is the number of fans brought in from this specific show, that is a nice number to go back on. So well done, Eduardo. I know it is very late your time. Do you have anything you want to say to the fans who just enjoyed your coup de grace show before you tap
I
out?
just want to thank the fans for knowing which promotion is the best and their good taste, I would like to appreciate them for that. I will also wish good luck to my opponents. They will need it. See you guys next year.
See you in the new year, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. And we will indeed close the door on coup de grace there. But that is not the end of this show. That is only the beginning of what we have planned tonight. And now that we are down to 3 of us, Walter, your time has come. This is the New Beginnings pay-per-view, not just the name of your pay-per-view, but I think thematically resonant with your approach for tonight's card. Walk us through it. How did this card come together?
There are no gods, there are no kings, there is only wrestling. And,
Wrestling.
And my entire intention was to not play the video game, but I have a very kind of set perception of how I believe wrestling should be built, how shows should be built, how feuds should be built. And given that this is, our first gold pay-per-view, everything that we have done prior to now has been building towards this event, with the two exceptions of these random mid-tier wrestlers demanding things from me, accidentally getting over, and me having to utilize that information. We have seen Axel Dust and Chase get in the way of some of my plans. We've seen Shohei Hirano be injured, who is someone that I was really hoping to feature on this card. There has been another feud that I haven't really been able to touch because there's a belt on someone that is getting in the way of me doing something else. So there will be belt changes tonight. There will also be the debut of two new gimmick matches, the dog collar match that I hinted at last time, and the introduction of our own cash-in style, briefcase situation known as the brass ring. But Chase, I do believe it is time to attempt to beat Eduardo.
That is what we're saying. I mean, look, I will say, there's this guy named Tentacle Coach in the chat saying, yeah, this Walter guy always be yapping, which seems harsh to me. I thought that was quite the introduction, but we're going to move on and
Chase, you're not supposed to read the chat out to him.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
I see it.
Yeah. Well, we've got the
I
new
see you
beginnings.
talking shit.
Quite the poster we've got ahead of us here. We're not going to pay attention to these articles because we are here for the matches, and we start with the Theodore Vincent Heritage Title Championship, which is a 6-way ladder match. Walter, talk us through how this match came together.
So as we remember, Cobra Gaston was the initial champion way back in New Year's Slam because I needed him to win a Battle Royale for a monthly goal. He's had a little bit of a feud here with Virginia Warbler, one of his good friends, and someone that helped kind of break him into the scene and introduce him to wrestling. Has been a good partner out on the indies, and so they're going to continue their feud. But we're adding in some other of these lower tier guys, some of these other younger guys. Eddie Davis is out here, Kyle Lucha. They've been sort of kind of in the dumps for the morale. They haven't been used. And then Devontae Harrell and Rocca have begun a little bit of a feud here over the last few weeks as we got ready to get into this pay-per-view. So this is really, we're still trying to showcase some of the, some of the lesser used talents on the show, and just get as many people onto this card as possible. But Cobra Gaston, he is still coming out with Livia Scribner, his partner, his girlfriend, and his manager. And I'm really excited to see what these 6 guys can do to, get the crowd kind of going.
Absolutely. We see 3 of these people coming down with their managers, so we've got a lot of room for some shenanigans abound. But Xander, where do you think this match goes?
I think after everything that happened, right, most recently in Walter's promotion, it's got to go to Cobra. It's got to stay with Cobra. The Livia Scribner thing, listen, I'm glad that Livia isn't, dating her brother, which I misunderstood briefly.
I think we're all glad about that, for sure.
It's way too early for an incest angle. We got to be around for a few years before we get to that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we haven't researched that one in the library on this game quite yet. I will say I too would go with Cobra Gaston here just because he's 3 points away from getting over. And while I'm typically not a fan of 2-3s, a 3-4 that is a main eventer and has that young, is young and can be trained up over time, I think is something worth building on. Walter, are we right? Is Cobra Gaston going to retain here?
You are correct. We are going to keep it on Cobra Gaston in this ladder match. Hopefully we don't damage too many people's, morales too much, but we are also building a whole bunch of feuds, as you can see, the beginning of quite a bit of action going on into the next few months.
Absolutely. No one's taking a morale hit. In fact, everyone's morale went up, which you love to see. Cobra Gaston is officially over with the fans. The mission worked. He is now a 3-4 moving forward, and that's going to bump all of his stats up. Also, a holy shit moment to start the night. Cobra Gaston hitting Virginia Warbler with a leg drop off the ladder. That is a strong start. Only 4.5 stars. The rating maybe not matching some of those other benefits. But I think for an opening match, a very nice start to this card. Especially now that
Not bad at all.
A main eventer. Absolutely. Walter, looks like we've got a tag unsanctioned match here between the Kingdom and the Lads. Can you tell us about this feud?
Yeah, so, here's the thing. I drafted as a meme Chase because I thought it would be funny to have somebody on my roster named Chase that if I was ever mad at my friend Chase, I could just beat the shit out of Chase in the game, and it would be great. Here's the problem. Chase is getting over with the fans.
He's officially fully over. You love to see it.
He is over with the fans. So I have to remind him of his place. And, Drew King and the Kingdom and Alexander Palmer, they really haven't gotten out a whole lot. Drew King does have a win here, but he also did lose at New Year's Slam. He was part of that the main event championship match. And Alex Palmer has lost his only match so far on the card. So I decided, let him get out there, let them take some of their anger out on Chase and Jules Murphy in an unsanctioned match.
I mean, Xander, with that description, do I even need to ask who you think's going to win this one?
No, but I will say that I for some reason feel internally that Chase is going to end up benefiting from this match regardless.
Yeah, so far, losing has not been a problem for Chase. And I do feel like, okay, I'm just going to hit the Kingdom button because we all know the Kingdom's winning this one. But there is something to be said.
Okay.
Every match that Chase has been in has gone well, and this is another one. That's a 5.5 star match. Now, look, Chase is not over with the fans anymore. You have accomplished that goal. If you wanted Chase to be a worse wrestler, you have made that happen, Walter. But it's come with the benefit of King and Palmer, both of whom, as you said, are people who deserve a little bit of a boost. It's come with the benefit of your first 5.5 star match of the night, and it has increased the morale of a couple of I think that's actually from your last match, but either way, a very strong match result here, and look, Chase will bounce back next time, I'm sure. I believe in Chase. My parents tell me that all the time, so it must be true. We shall move forward. Walter, there is no Chase in this match, so the result is back to being unpredictable. Tell us about this fatal 4-way last man standing match for the SWA Women's Championship.
Yeah, so Empress Kabuki, she came up to me and she said, hey, listen, I need some better competition. Like, I'm not happy with the quality of competition that I've been getting. And I said, okay, well, you liked that first match that you had against Aiko Haruka. She was like, I mean, yeah, kind of, I guess. I was like, cool, what if you guys have a last man standing match? Or last woman standing match? And she goes, well, but that's not enough, I want more. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you want more? Like, you don't want it to, you want it to be like a death match? She's like, no, I need more competitors. So I said, okay, well, what about Angelina Cardinal and Maester Gomez? What if I throw them out there, to see how can you stand up to some of these upcomers? Maybe some of these other stars that, if they weren't going to be competing against you tonight, you might be competing against them in the next couple of months. And Empress Kabuki said, absolutely, as long as my manager can go out there with me. And, yeah, that's what happened here. We've got Empress Kabuki with her new manager, Talia Adler, as part of Made in Japan against Aika Haruka, Angelina Cardinal, and Maester Gomez.
Absolutely. Now, Xander, where do you think this one's going?
I think if it doesn't go to Empress Kabuki, she throws someone off a building.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those things, right, where, like, the Empress has asked for a higher quality of opponent, and I think from a work standpoint, these are all very high qualities of opponent. But if it were me, Empress Kabuki is the face of the company. And the faces of the company don't lose to upper mid-carders. That just is not how this goes. And I imagine, Walter, you're going to confirm that is indeed the case tonight.
That is correct. Empress Kabuki wins. And I believe with this, Yeah, she's the champ.
Yeah.
And there we go. Looks like a feud got hot.
It's a 5.5-star match. It is a hot feud between Aiko and Empress Kabuki, which means that we're going to be seeing more from them moving forward, I am sure. That's an overness boost for everybody, a popularity boost for everybody, which, for the record, means that Angelina Cardinal and and Aiko Haruka, Angelina and Aiko, both main eventers now. 2 women have become main eventers while Empress Kabuki maintains her title and maintains her status as the demon of this company, a heel that is unstoppable. And that's what the best heels do. And the best heels also give you holy shit matches. A power bomb on Maester Gomez off the ramp and onto the tables below has the fans going crazy. Empress Kabuki reminding everyone why she is one of the best wrestlers that any of these leagues have to offer. An incredible performance from her tonight.
He is going to be seeing more of those other 3 women. I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely. But we have to move on to the Trios Championship. We look here, we have Eternum, our current champions, versus the Kingdom. Walter, walk me through how this particular trio from the Kingdom came to be.
Yeah, so the Kingdom, we saw this trio debut at the Heritage Cup, was sort of the re-announcement of the Kingdom led by Drew King. Parole on a roll, they actually beat Eternum at the Heritage Cup, which set up this match here tonight. Because they won back at Heritage Cup, we gave Parole on the Roll their choice of what kind of match it was going to be. And they said, well, listen, we're formal criminals. We want a street fight. And Eternum said, okay, we'll give you our best. And that's where we're at here tonight. Eternum versus the Kingdom in a street fight.
Yeah, we see 2 heel stables here. Xander, which do you think is coming out on top?
I think it goes to Eternum only because their name is cooler, and Saber has the coolest name of anybody, actively wrestling right now. I can see an argument, of course, for the Kingdom getting a dub, but Eternum have only had a win together, so I don't think you take the belt off them this early. And like I said, their name is cooler, so it goes to Eternum.
Interesting. I lean a little bit more towards the Kingdom here because I look at that overness, 78.3%. They have a couple people that would really benefit from a win here. I think Eternum, they were a solid first champion. I do like Kenji Saber. I do agree with you on that, and I appreciate that Wesley Lee Morris knows how to make a feud go. But I think the Kingdom already has a win tonight, and I think maybe the Kingdom is going to set a pattern here. Which one of us is right here, Walter?
You would be correct, Chase. The Kingdom is going to take the belt here. This is me rectifying kind of my own errors. And, I think the big thing of why the Kingdom is going to get the win, they did get to decide on the stipulation, on the gimmick type. That street fight is going to be massive for them. That is in their wheelhouse. I do think Eternum, they're better as more kind of traditional wrestlers. But this is not the end of this feud. These guys, these factions are, probably going to be feuding over this belt for a little while. And this will just give me some more freedom to do something, particularly with Wesley Lee Morris, who has had a potential feud sitting on him since day one that I haven't gotten really to do anything with.
Yes.
So he will have something to do, I promise you that.
Yeah, it opens some things up. It's a near 5-star match, but more importantly, it gets Seb Ashton over with the fans. So Chase may not be over, but Seb Ashton certainly is. You've got a nice little increase there from the street fight match. And if you look at Eternum, maybe taking a little bit of a hit tonight, but the Kingdom has leveled up. Well, they are now a Reputation 5 faction, which has got to feel nice. That's a nice place for the Kingdom to sit. They are the big winners so far tonight. As well as we see the LMS match from earlier giving you a ratings boost for future LMS matches moving forward. But we have the main event package here. We are hyping up our main event here, and unfortunately, it seems like Amelie Gonzalez may have shit the bed here, Walter, because that is not what you wanted to see on your package.
Amelie, check PayPal.
I just hope that her focus on the other package is strong. That's all I have to say.
That's fair. She does. There may be more from Amelie later on. But right now, we have the first of its kind. Tell us about the brass ring match, Walter.
Yes, so this is an elimination style match, if I remember correctly, and this is our version of kind of like the Money in the Bank, the briefcase that Eduardo had in his. It is, let's get a bunch of these guys out there. Let's give one of them a guaranteed shot at the champion that they choose. And we got quite a stable of people here that haven't been used as much. I do think that Colton Scribner, big potential, good kid. Really excited to see what he can do. And Assassino, Christopher Devlin came to me and demanded that Assassino be added to this match. He said his bodyguard needs to do a better job of protecting him. And what better way of protecting Christopher Devlin's reign than if he won the briefcase to challenge Christopher Devlin? That's basically an ace in the hole right there, that if Devlin ever lost, they could get the title back just like that.
Xander, who do you think is going to take this one?
Oh man, this is rough. You've got Colton, you've got Viper, you've got Anthony, you got Jace, all in the same match. Like on that alone, it's hard for me because and again, I like Assassino a lot. That's a wrestler that, I have mentioned a couple times now. We were looking to recruit. I do like what Walter's promotion has done with him overall. I want to say it goes to a Scribner here. If it's going to go to one, maybe Colton. But if it's me here, I give it to Assassino, just for the record.
You give it to Assassino, but you think it's a Scribner. At some point, right, Christopher Devlin does not accept mediocrity. If Assassino doesn't win something here in the near future, I could see that going very badly for Assassino. But, Walter, I have to ask, is Assassino going to come out on top, or is there another challenger here that perhaps has been overlooked by our lovely co-anchor?
There's another challenger that's been overlooked because Colton Scribner is the leader of the Scribner family, but Daniel Stevenson is the leader of Eternum. So he's going to get the win here tonight. He has been highly underutilized. He hasn't gotten much action. And, he really was the one that came up with the brass ring. He came to me. He said, hey, listen, let's try and get some of these other guys on the card. Let us try and see if there is a way that we can get somebody else potentially to challenge Christopher Devlin when he is not ready. And I said, you know what, Danny? That's a great idea. I'll even let you be the one to win it first. So that's going to be Daniel Stevenson is going to get that win as the leader of Eternum.
Yeah, I think the brass ring match obviously does pretty well for itself in its debut. I think Daniel Stevenson is a perfect guy to hold it. Only slightly above a 4-star here. I think the game was maybe a little bit stingy in what it ordered out, maybe just because you got some people here who are on the lower end of the upper mid-card section.
And as you can see, if you go up to the actual elimination order itself, it does look like Stevenson ended up eliminating Colton Scribner and then one of his own teammates there at the end in Dead Killer. Yeah. So that is actually fascinating to me. You see Colton Scribner eliminating his own brother. Quite fascinating, though, some of the faction-on-faction violence here. And I can tell you, Dead Killer coming backstage, he is not happy. He is very angry and is talking to his tag team partner as they're kind of storming off to their locker room. So I hope that doesn't hurt Eternum at all.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they handle it. I mean, look, for the sake of the brass ring, you got to put some stuff to the side. It's about, you got to secure that contract for yourself. Teammates be damned, but some people don't handle that as well as others. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. But first, we have our SWA Tag Championship. Walter, tell us about the 4 tag teams we have in front of us today.
Yeah, so we have Down Under have been very good champions for us so far this year. They said, hey, we want a little bit of a break from defending defending against Hollywood Bound. You know, we've beaten them a couple times in a couple different ways. We think maybe we should give some of these other guys a chance here, and that is how we are going to get Pocket Rocket, Prodigious, and Neon Wings, all teams that have sort of been fighting against each other. But I did want to give the guys from the Lads, much like I gave the Kingdom earlier, I wanted to give them a chance to sort of come up with a gimmick or a stipulation or something for this match. And they said, no, you know what? We want this to be a fair match. We want this to be called Down the Line because we don't trust Pocket Rocket or Prodigious. So they asked Veteran and, a member of their faction, a manager in their faction for Angelina Cardinal, Layla Hertz, who is one of the most honest, trustworthy people I've ever met in my life, to call this way down the, call this match down the middle. And I think that was an excellent choice by the champions.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just good business right there. You know these heels want to win badly. You know they're going to be up to something. And Down Under just protecting themselves here after such a strong title reign they've been able to maintain so far. Xander, who do you think comes out on top here?
Who do I think comes out on top? Man, I like the arguments presented, but once again, I gotta go with my gut, and my gut says Down Under. I really like Prodigious. I think that they're gonna be great. I could see them being phenomenal champions as well. I think that they check a lot of boxes here, but I think you keep it on Down Under. I think Down Under still have room to go, room to grow. And even with Pocket Rocket and Prodigious in here, I think if the match just goes well, then they benefit together, and Down Under gets to start moving up toward a new echelon of tag team.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will admit, I'm a sucker for Neon Wings. They were 100% over with the crowd. Every match they've been in has been a delight because Ace Carter and Vance Eagles know how to put on a show for the crowd. They may not be great on the mic, but they know how to handle themselves in the ring. But
they are faction mates too.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
Dudley Bros much?
But I don't think they unseat here. Tell us, Walter, does Down Under retain?
No, Down Under is going to keep the belt. They have gone on such a roll. They have been one of the crown jewels in our tag team division. That was definitely something that I really was pushing for as we were drafting our teams. Are drafting our rosters, and they have been absolutely fantastic champions. And it's gonna take one hell of an effort for one of these other tag teams to knock them off.
Absolutely, and that's a 5.5-star match. That's exactly what we expect from this many talented people. Look at all these feuds, by the way, that have started out here. This is really, like, you named your pay-per-view New Beginnings, and oh boy, is this the beginning of a new era for your promotion. Just so many feuds here that are going to start and move on.
And their holy shit moment.
There it is. Sean Torres hitting Jordan Wolf with the lariat that knocked his head off. That is your third holy shit moment of the night. Your tag championships benefiting from a quality champion, a quality challenger, special referee getting a huge boost as well. Maybe we're going to see some more special referee matches in the near future. But what a defense from Down Under. Clearly a team to be reckoned with. But we move on to the Intercontinental Championship between Kaiichi Sakurai and Kenzo Nai. Tell us, Walter, what's on the line for these two competitors?
So Kenzo Nai has had, 2 previous chances at Kaiichi Sakurai at both pay-per-views. And unfortunately, he has come up short both times. The first match, just a very standard match. The second one, an Iron Man match that he wasn't able to quite do it. And he demanded from management that he get Kaiichi Sakurai one last time in a steel cage to allow both of them better usage of their MMA backgrounds from their previous careers. Kenzo Nai decreed that it would not be the same, that he would not be alone, and the Made in Japan stable that includes him, Empress Kabuki, and his tag partner Shohei Hirano. But Shohei Hirano was injured. He is not here. He is not in Kenzo Nai's corner. So he is standing out there all alone to face this eternal rival. And I I can only expect these two men are going to murder each other inside this steel cage.
Yeah, it's hard to get more perfectly matched than these two are. 860 popularity versus 862. 27 and 28 years old, both 4-star workers. I mean, Xander, how do you pick a winner for this one?
You know, I mean, do you have a coin handy? Do we have the coin flip ready to go? I like both these wrestlers. We talked a little bit about them the last time they got together. They're in a steel cage, obviously. Keiichi's been the better competitor here. So I can see you wanting to give one to Kenzo, have the upset, have it be a big moment for the card. Then again, keeping it with Keiichi, pushing him further and to a new zenith might also make sense. So I'm torn here as well. Like I said, you might as well coin flip if you're asking me.
Okay, it's a coin flip from Xander. I am going to give the nod to Sakurai. I think when in doubt, you keep it on the champion. Sakurai has proven to have Kenzo Nai's number. And I think Kenzo, as Walter was expressing there, right? He was depending on having a teammate there to shake things up. A teammate who could perhaps serve as a distraction, who could perhaps serve as the wild card to turn things around. And without that, I think this is Sakurai's match to lose. Walter, who is taking the title?
You would be correct. It will be Keiichi Sakurai. He will win the third and final blow-off to this feud. He will escape Kenzo Nai with the belts.
Look at that, a 64-point popularity surge for him. It's a hot match, a 5+ star match, which you love to see. And you love to see a blow-off for a 5-star feud like this. No holy shit moment, but certainly a nice boost for the Intercontinental Championship. Sakurai proving to be quite the title holder.
And as Sakurai's music is playing and he is celebrating, now Heizo Ogawa's music is playing. He has come down. He is shaking Keiichi Sakurai's hand and beats the ever-loving shit out of him.
What is happening? Heizo Ogawa, I think he's turning heel. All people are asking, why is he beating Keiichi Sakurai mercilessly in the ring? I mean, who knows where this leads? But it looks like we have a new
I
feud
can't
on our
wait to
hands.
see where it goes, though. It's a 5-star production package.
Yeah.
And it's a great beatdown. You love that.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
one way to
Amelie.
start a new feud.
PayPal. Check PayPal.
PayPal, yeah.
Absolutely. That is how you do it with a vicious beatdown.
I think when you're doing it, you just say check your salary. Your check's in the mail.
No, PayPal. PayPal.
Okay, extra bonus. Got it.
We're all going through PayPal, legitimately or otherwise.
Good
for
job,
sure.
Amelie. Good job. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is going to be one to watch. Heizo Ogawa is tired of being on the sidelines. He's tired of just being this stoic shoot fighter, the heel, the face that everyone's expecting. He wants a title shot, and oh boy, is he going to get it after this beatdown tonight. I cannot wait to see how that develops. But we do have to move on, because we have our first ever dog collar match for the men's championship. Walter, what is a dog collar match?
A dog collar match is as follows. You take two dog collars, you put a length of chain attached to the belts on them. You put them around the neck of two competitors, and you go until one man is unable to stand. And that is what Ethan Wilde has demanded here in this match after losing twice to Craig Opley. The first at New Year's Slam in a one-on-one match, then again at the Heritage Cup, losing a 4-man street fight that also included Wesley Lee Morris and Tyler Dynamite. Ethan Wilde came to me chain in hand and said, tie us together and I will kill him. And I said, you know what? That sounds like a lot of fun. We'll do the first ever dog collar match between either of the promotions, and I will give you one last chance to beat Craig Opley. Very much mirroring Kenzo Nai and Keiichi Sakurai. But, Craig Opley, is stoic in his own right. He is prepared for this. He has spent his money wisely to convince the best MMA fighters to train with him, and he feels very confident going into this match. Another match between Eternum and the Lad.
Absolutely. I mean, Xander, who do you think brings this one home?
Craig. It's going to Craig. I know it's a dog collar match. I know you got some spicy stuff going on here with Ethan, but I think Craig fends it off tonight.
I mean, look, Craig is 1 month out of 6 away from becoming a face of the company. I think there's a lot to be said. If he can withstand a dog collar match, he deserves to be in that conversation. As a 4-4 challenger, there's a lot of reasons. But I gotta be honest, I love the creativity of Ethan Wild. I love the look. As a Falcons fan, the red and black is always going to have a lot of appeal to me. Walter, does Ethan Wild pull off the upset here? Is the dog collar what he's been missing?
That is exactly what has been missing. Ethan Wild is going to take this match despite the trios title loss by Eternum earlier on. Their 2 main eventers in Daniel Stevenson and now Ethan Wild will be standing tall at the end of the night. Stevenson with his guaranteed contract, and Ethan Wild with now the men's championship.
What a fucking match, man. Near 6 stars. The blood certainly helps.
Huge.
Ethan Wild with 100 points of a popularity boost. And Craig Opley gets a popularity boost as well. Sure, he's not happy about losing the title. Who gives a shit? He's fine. He's still happy overall. He's had his title for a bit. What's important here is that you are now 7 points away from Ethan Wild being a face of the company as he takes over the men's championship. And oh, by the way, as if it doesn't look like we got a holy shit moment here, but oh boy, do we get a nice change here for the men's championship. That is the match that you're looking for. The dog collar match doesn't quite level up in one match, but if you look at where are the lads here?
Pretty damn close. Up
here. Yeah,
right
they lost. Okay.
Well, the lads lose one.
The lads lose one.
And Eternum gains one.
Yeah, and that gets them back up to a 5-star reputation. You love to see it for them.
And that, if you could just scroll down for a second there, I want to go back and look at the feuds there, up at the top. Up at the top, a little bit higher. A little bit higher.
It's a
And
hot
Ethan
match.
Wild and Craig Opley, a nice hot match.
Yeah, they're well over with the crowd, as if there was any doubt that these two were beloved by the audience. I mean, the dog collar match is clearly something I bet you're going to go back to because the crowd is loving it. We've got 2 more matches left on this card, Walter. Tell me about this 6-way ladder match for the Mildred S. Robinson Championship.
Well, much like the Theodore Vincent Heritage title, this is kind of the same thing for the women's side. Our champion, Jessie Mallory, defending against some of the other bright spots of the women's division. Again, trying to get as many people on the card as possible. And understanding, hey, we're probably going to need a little bit of a break in between the World Championship match and some of these other absolutely gruesome matches that we've put on. So I said to these ladies, listen, you're going to be in a tough spot, but I want you to go out there. I want you to show the world exactly what you got. You know, people are going to be in their seats in between the men's championship match and the World Championship match. So use this to show off exactly what you are capable of in this ladder match. We do have some long-standing feuds. Mai Fukushima, coming off of her failure to knock off Empress Kabuki multiple times. She's now come down to sort of the mid-card belt here. She's trying to prove that she deserves to be up there. Trixie Albright, the youngster, trying to show that she potentially is a star in the making. Brooklyn Cambriel was upset that she was not able to get onto the main, the women's championship, but I said, hey, there were only 3 spots. I already gave them out. I promise you, you can go into this match. Show me what you got. Show me you deserve to be in the main event scene. And Consequencia and Norma Nunes, they are also looking to try and raise their standing within the women's division as well.
Absolutely. Xander, who do you think has this one?
I have been very vocal about whenever I see Brooklyn Cambriel, I'm voting for Brooklyn Cambriel. Okay, we're in a match where there's a lot on the line. I see good arguments for Trixie, Jessie, and but and I mean even Consequencia's name has come up a bunch. But when Brooklyn's in a match, I'm rooting for Brooklyn.
Okay, you're rooting for Brooklyn. I'm rooting for Jessie. I think she's got potential. The crowd agrees. They're all behind her, and she's 18 points away from becoming a main eventer. Walter, who is taking it this time around?
The belt is staying on Jessie Mallory. I know she's got potential. I want her to be the queen of my mid-tier of my women's division for now. Brooklyn, this is going to be a great showing for her, but the belt is going to stay on Jessie tonight.
There you go. Okay, Jessie taking the win. That's a 55-point popularity boost. That's going to make her a main eventer. That is going to be, it looks like a very strong match. Everyone gets a morale boost. It's only 4.5 stars. But it is going to give a holy shit moment as Jessie Mallory throws Mei Fukushima face first through a ladder in the corner there. It is a big win for her and a nice continuation of her reign as the Mildred S. Robinson Championship. But we have one more match for the night. Walter, tell us about our World Championship match here.
Christopher Devlin has been the champion since New Year's Slam. He had a match against Connor Cretan and Drew King, won the belt there. He had a nice tag match against Axel Dust and Kevin Bates. And Kevin Bates would then Axel Dust would then go on to win a Battle Royale 2 weeks ahead of Heritage Cup to earn himself a shot at the champion. Now, he lost that. He lost that match, but Devlin hasn't liked how Axel Dust has been acting around backstage. He got another win back over... He lost a match to Christopher Devlin 2 weeks out from New Beginnings. And, he didn't like it. Devlin didn't like that he was having to keep fighting against this Axel Dust fella, and he offered Axel Dust one last chance at the championship if he could beat Assassino last week. Axel Dust won, and he imported himself here into this match. And Connor Cretan also beat Assassino 2 weeks ago to earn his shot at this. This is Christopher Devlin trying to fend off these challengers once and for all to solidify himself as the face of this company and to put these posers in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, Devlin's been a monster. His bodyguard, maybe not so much. He's been trying to fend off these competitors, and they keep getting through. Xander, do you think that Christopher Devlin is being unseated tonight, or does the Hitman retain his spot?
I think Christopher Devlin keeps it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Walter, correct us if we're wrong, but this really feels like the Devlin stays atop the leaderboard here.
The Devil does stay at the top of the company. He is one of 6 months of being the face of the company, and he is going to blow off not just Axel Dust, but also this feud that has dominated our company for the first 3 months between Dominus, Tenebris, and the Lads. He's ready to move on to different things.
Absolutely. And look at that. Over a 5-star match. Some really cool spots that help build that more. Christopher Devlin versus Connor Cretan has become a hot feud. I don't remember if that's the one. I don't believe that that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that's still going. So that one's still here, and that one's hot. The fans are excited to see more of them. The others have run their course. And you look at 2 5-star feuds here. You love to see that experience coming through. You see a nice little boost here for the SWA World Championship. No holy shit moment. That is going to bring us home for the night. But it has done a great job of getting Christopher Devlin exactly where he deserves to be, which is at the top of this company. And when we look at this, Walter, that is a 5-star card for you, which is going to be not quite as high as your last pay-per-view, which was a 5.25, but still a very strong performance. 281 hype hopefully comes to terms here. I think there were just a couple of those matches that didn't quite turn out the way that you hoped. The brass ring being, I think, the purest example of one that I think the RNG just went the other way. But a 5-star is still an admirable effort. And you have set up some storylines here, especially with Heizo Ogawa, that I think is going to be really fun to watch moving forward. How are you feeling now that you've wrapped here?
I strongly disagree with this video game.
That's fair. Yeah, man. We've said this before. Sometimes the roll of these dice seem to be unfortunate. I feel like you did everything right in that one. That felt like a very strong card to me. But we've got 2 more strong cards coming up very shortly. We're just going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, in order to prepare ourselves for the second half, because we've got Xander and myself with some cards ready to go. So give us a couple minutes and we will return with more
The best yet to come.
wrestling action. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to part 2 of our Gold pay-per-view, the first Gold pay-per-view of the year, our biggest event of the year. So far, we have seen Eduardo in the Campeonato de Luchasaur bring in a 5.25 star card. We saw the Sanford Wrestling Alliance bring out a 5-star card with some long-term storytelling that we will have to wait and see how it goes. You know things are heating up because I'm going back to the blue cape here in my VTuber avatar here. And we are moving on to what should be quite the event in front of us, because we are here with the Glory of Legends event, the Gates of Eternity, which you might see there's a little marking here. It appears that the Journey of Wrestling Gods have bestowed a benefit upon you, Xander. Can you tell us about this card and what that little symbol there means for those of us who are not, those of you at home who are not necessarily
of course.
huge Journey of
Listen,
Wrestling
you know, here at Glory of Legends, we're happy to explain to anyone why our promotion is just better than everyone else. You know, we're just beloved by the fans. You know, within this competition, beloved by the game. And once again, you know, everyone got artifacts that, you know, were discovered in their basements, and ours was just better. You know, game loves us, and so we get 2 extra matches tonight that not everybody else gets, and you know, unfortunate for them that, you know, they're just not as talented at digging out artifacts out of the basement. I don't know what to say. You know, skill diff.
Yeah, I only get artifacts that have me take people off of my roster.
I only get artifacts that work with a brand split that doesn't exist. So mine is legitimately entirely useless. So is Eduardo's, by the way. If he was here, he would be pointing out that his is all about converting unconverted goals into something new when he's already on pace to finish all of his goals. So we all got screwed except for Xander, because Xander is this game's golden boy. But is that enough to win the pay-per-view? It has not been since opening week. Let's find out exactly right.
Now, I want to say I've still done well overall, but I haven't been able to get that win. We are looking to hopefully take one home tonight. Gates of Eternity, our premier, card, and we've got a ton of hype matches, a little different than people are used to for our pay-per-views, given what happened last time. But this is a big one for us.
It absolutely is, and it starts with a mixed gender 7-way street fight match. Tell us, Xander, how this match came to be.
Yeah, so this was a lot of people that were left on the card, and I wanted them to wrestle. No, all joking aside, there are some super talented wrestlers in here, actually, with some of our lower mid-carders, some of our folks that are working their way up, even a Leah Jacobs, okay? But a lot of these folks here are right on the cusp of becoming very talented, valuable wrestlers for us. 2 of them a little bit more notable than the others. However, you know, this can really go in a lot of ways. It's not as one-sided as you would think, with Love Hendricks and Blue Arrow being the highest. There's a lot of good 500 to 600 popularity folks here that are really genuinely talented wrestlers too.
Walter, you're seeing this motley crew of competitors here. Do you think we're going to see one of these lower mid-carders take the win, or is it going to go to one of the 2 favorites in Love Hendricks and Blue Arrow?
I think, can you scroll back down to Paisley there?
Of course.
I think Paisley Overholt would make the most sense. I think keeping their overness up, I think working on that popularity, trying to get them into the mid-card, that makes the most sense to me.
You know, there's a good argument for Paisley. I struggle with wrestlers whose best case scenario is a 3-3. I'll be honest with you on that. I don't know what her upside is. I feel like, to me, I'm looking at Love Hendricks and I'm looking at Blue Arrow. They are the 2 biggest competitors. They are the ones who would have the biggest hit if it doesn't work out, if they were to lose this match. I personally prefer Love Hendricks just because I think he is a little bit closer to getting over, but I have a feeling you're going in a different direction on this, Xander.
Yeah, I don't remember what that direction is. Can you remind me?
You picked Blue Arrow. Is that still
That's
true?
what I'm going with. Yep. Okay, I stick with my gut.
Okay. And the gut is going to give you a 5-star match. Callie Vicious is no longer over with the fans. Those of you who were keen kind of viewers probably noted that she was under the 80% threshold. That goes back to this whole faction feud thing that's been going on. It's a long and ultimately kind of boring story about how the game's mechanics work, but she was always going to drop. The important thing here is that Blue Arrow hit Callie Vicious with 3 consecutive finishers to get a holy shit moment on the night to start the card. Blue Arrow is now more over with the fans than he's been in a while. He's hit the 60% threshold, so he is on his way. And the Exile feud between Leah Jacobs and Callie Vicious. If you're wondering why Leah Jacobs is here, it's because she and Callie Vicious have been going back and forth for a while. That feud has now gotten hot, and everyone has benefited from it as a result. That's a nice 5-star match to start the evening, despite what could be seen as a lower tier of competitor in this match. Something that I'm sure will not frustrate one of the people on this call even a little bit. Shall we move forward?
Let's set it. Listen, we're happy with that. We're happy with that card going to 5 stars. I just flat out the blood adding the effect. That card, that match was not really a big thing. We of course had the one hot feud in there, but we're really looking to build some of those folks up, and I'm happy to see that most of them still benefited tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we've got the next match, an 8-way first blood match. Tell us about our 8 competitors here.
Yeah, so we've got an 8-way first blood match. These ones, very similar story to how this match got built. But I will say there are some longer standing feuds in here. There's a couple of hot feuds. And we've got some folks in here that we think we can push up even higher, that aren't really standing to have. This is looking like a very similar setup, but a better match overall is what we're looking for.
Interesting. Walter, you're looking through these 8 wrestlers. Does anyone stand out to you as someone worth giving a win to?
Yeah, Sinister Tango and Wayaya. Those are the 2 that stick out to me. The dark one. Let me go with the dark one here. I think that's the one that I'm gonna pick. Keep that overall high. Try and bump that popularity up to get them into the main event scene.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those. If Wajaya is meant to be, I don't know if it's Wahaya or Wajaya. I guess it's up to you, Xander, since they're your wrestler.
I've been saying Wajaya, so okay. It's yeah.
Wajaya, I mean, I think if you believe that Wajaya is a main eventer, I think he has to win this one. The question is, do you think that he's a main eventer, or do you think there's someone on this card that you think deserves a little bit more? Who are you giving the win to?
I don't remember. I think it was somebody else. Dietrich, right?
Mullen is the guy you gave it to. It is going to Dietrich. Because he is 1 point away from getting over. He was over before. He is now over again. And that is a near 5-star match. Wajaya, you can see seeing a huge overness hit. You had to expect that, given that he is losing to someone so much lower on the card than him. It's a big boost for Dietrich Mullen, 14.5 points. He has been a higher level of competitor than he has faced so far. But this is also a blow-off match for the Pro Popula et Gloria Burn It All Down versus For the People. You knew that this feud was going to run its course over the course of this event. This may not be the only one we see that features that feud, but we know that this pay-per-view will be the end of it. We also know we've got a second holy shit moment in 2 matches because Dietrich Mullen suplexed Colin Torwell from the apron through the table outside. That is another overness boost for him. So Dietrich, he's got a ways to go before he's a main eventer, but he is going to be a 4-3 who has a couple big wins behind him, and I have a feeling you've got some plans for him. If you're
we do indeed, and we can't wait to see more from him.
Yes. Well, in the meantime, we have got a 4-way I Quit moment. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that this was on airplane mode. Apologies for the random alert here. We should be back at it again in the white vans. And we have a 4-way I Quit moment. Tell us about this fatal 4-way here, Xander.
Yeah, so some of our most talented women that are not currently holding a belt right now. You've got Anastasia, Hanada Shiroki, Jade Gatlin, who arguably is the most talented on this card. Just in terms of someone who hasn't received a single win yet. And then Maricela Reyes, who has been starting to work her way up. She was in a lot of group matches, got the win at the weekly most recently, and is starting to move herself up into that over 800 popularity group. And again, you see, we got a lot of faces here. They're very talented. You got Anastasia, who is one of our most notable heels, and then Maricela, who's like I said, moving their way up. I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts on this are.
Yeah, Walter, which of these four ladies do you think is taking home the win here?
Maricela, keep building her up. She's so close there for popularity, and if you get a couple of good matches out of her, she could hit that overness, get her up there to, it looks like that would make her a 3-3, I guess, or a 4-2, but that would be the one that I would go for, Maricela Reyes.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of work to get that 4-3 from Maricela. I do think having a main eventer, another heel women in that card would be helpful. I will say, Jade Gatlin, 0-4 right now. She has been feuding for title shots recently, and it has not worked out for her. I feel like if she's not getting a win now, then when is the question. But Hanada is the person who is the highest rated here, and I think the 23-year-old face has a lot to offer. I would give it to Hanada. Who are you giving it to, Xander?
Once again, don't remember. You're going to have to remind me.
It's going to be Jade Gatlin if your notes are
Okay,
correct.
it is Jade. It is Jade.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is so bold of you, Xander.
Given everything we saw with Eduardo's card, which for the record, I want to be like, I'm not talking.
It worked out for Eduardo. If I'm being honest, I mean,
not telling tales out of school, but I'm pretty like, as he noted later, there were some changes to the card that we made. I don't think I went crazy there, but clearly Jade Gatlin was the right call here because that's a near 6-star match with a good psychology bonus. Jade Gatlin obviously feeling great about getting a win. You love to see that. And 3 matches, 3 holy shit moments. Jade Gatlin jumping onto Anastasia in a pile of electrical equipment below the ramp. That's the first time I think we've seen that specific holy shit
I've never
moment.
seen that one. That one's awesome.
So, another 30 points. You said that this was a card you spent a lot of money on, and I think the game has heard you and is deciding to reward you accordingly.
Very appreciative. Very appreciative. Yeah,
Man.
I mean, we're in the profit margin right now. It's not going to stay that way. I'll be honest. This card's expensive. Okay.
It sure is. But the card keeps on rolling. We got a 5-way special referee match with Executioner Goro. Tell us about our 5 competitors here.
Yeah, so you've got, this is really a faction setup here, if I'm being honest, between some of the, the highlighted factions, of course. Burn It All Down being the most notable one, which is why Executioner Goro is showing up early before his own match later to sort of come here and put his thumb on the scale. I will say that there's a really notable member in Show who's in this match, but you've also got Gaijo Jade, who is someone that has been constantly putting in work for the company and hasn't been able to receive a win yet. And Kaiman, who has been on the cusp of winning multiple belts and hasn't taken one home yet. So this is a really hot match between some folks that, are arguably, those bottom 3 are arguably pushing up for, title contention. But then you've also got Matt Payne and Xander Cage. Now, Matt Payne is someone who we do have big plans for, all right? You can see the 3-3 pop 700, 711, hasn't gotten a win yet because he's mostly been in battle royales, but is someone that we do have a lot of hype for going forward. And, he happens to have a feud with Xander Cage, so Xander Cage is here. As a fellow Xander, this Xander is not at my level. When he gets there, we'll talk about him. So between the 4 that could win this, who do you guys think is going to win?
Yeah, Walter, who's your pick?
I think utilizing that same argument you had, if they're not going to get a win now, when with Gaijo Jade, 0-6, give them a win here. Give them something.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, but I personally use that logic for Kaiman Nomura, who is 0-5 right now, and unlike Gaijo Jade, who's a 4-3, and a 4-3 is very respectable, a 4-4 is even more respectable. I think Kaiman Nomura earns the win here. Xander, do you remember who you gave this one to, or shall I tell you?
Sure don't. You can tell me.
Kaiman Nomura is the one you went with. You and I are aligned on that. Now, this is your weakest match of the night so far, just like the Dietrich Mullen one, slightly under 5 stars. But this does blow off the Gaijo Jade feud. Another hot match within that feud. Unfortunately,
That's right.
You blew it off right before it went hot. You would have had a little bit more wiggle room. But
Unlucky.
you blow it off at a slightly under 5 star, which has to feel good. A nice improvement there with a special referee. You're continuing to level that up. And we missed it earlier, but the custom feuds, I believe, got a little bit of a base hype boost. And the I Quit match has a lower injury rate moving forward. So
We love that.
some good stuff here. But we move on to our first belt of the night. This is the Return to Glory Belt Championship. Tell us about the match we have going forward here.
Yeah, so we'll just be honest. We're moving our way up the card, okay? Every match is going to get more hype, more intense, and with our higher-end wrestlers in this promotion. This one, you're seeing a lot of very talented folks. You've got Vince Rivera, who just took the belt from Kenny Diaz recently, right? Got that dub, is starting to make his way up as the Silent Killer. You've got General Hayashima, who's been putting in work for Burn It All Down. Notably, you know, the one of the only faces in that faction. And then you've got, you know, Jay Avalon and Bone Soldier, two very talented wrestlers who've been seen a bunch, haven't gotten a win. And Yuji, who's another guy that, you know, we have a lot of expectations of in this promotion, but has mostly only been featured in battle royales so far. So this is really a card where we're trying to, you know, highlight the talented guys that have put in the work to elevate others, and they're all getting their own shots to take a belt home here, see if they can upset Vince Rivera.
See, I think that's very interesting that both you and I had kind of the same concept there of trying to get some of these lesser used talents onto this much larger card. I do think you're doing a great job of really spreading it out. Why are you front-loading your card with all of these multi-man matches instead of kind of spreading them out a little bit more?
Well, I will say that is something we're doing. You'll see why, though, as the card deepens. Because I went with a very counter notion in terms of how I set my card up from how I normally have, where we've got a lot of belts with a lot of people. This time, a lot of the belts have a lot fewer people than you've seen from our promotion previously. I'll just leave it at that.
There's a reason that so many of Xander's competitors have 0-4, 0-5, 0-6 records. The Glory of Legends has had a lot of people, a lot of bodies thrown at belts. And this is maybe the time that we see some people get some wins finally. Walter, do you think that one of these competitors here is going to take the title back, or is this Vince Rivera's time to retain?
No, I think this is Vince Rivera's time to retain. Keep the belt on him. Like you said, you're trying to get these guys exposed a little bit more to the fan base, and maybe you're building a feud here where Vince Rivera loses down the line. But right now, he's going to keep the belt.
Yeah, I also think Vince keeps the belt, if only because I think he hasn't had the Return to Glory belt for very long. Though if I was going to give it to anybody, Yuji Onishi, someone who with one win could easily become a main eventer and is a 4-4 versus Vince Rivera, who's just a 3-3 and isn't likely to get over in the foreseeable future. I think Yuji would be a very strong look. But Xander, do you remember who you gave this one to?
I don't, but I think it's Vince Rivera.
It is Vince Rivera. That is correct.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
And look at that. That is a near 6-star match. Not quite 6-star. But everybody's getting a benefit, including Yuji Onishi is going to be a main eventer. General Hayashima was already one, but now maintains his role there. Jay Avalon gets just a little bit closer. But that's everything you could hope for. Vince Rivera starting to get over with the fans. And oh look, another holy shit moment. Vince Rivera about to hit General Hayashima with a finisher before they both collapsed from exhaustion. That's another overness boost from Vince, and one that he's very happy to have as the Return to Glory belt keeps earning more and more experience, well on its way to becoming a Silver Star belt if we see a nice reign from Vince here. So, well done, Xander. It seems like
yeah. Listen, hey, well done, Vince. Again, that card had a lot of really exciting folks, and I'm happy to see that the match went well. Vince starting to make his way up into that, potentially face of the company level, while also being, getting that overness pretty close. So can't wait to see more from that guy.
Absolutely. But for now,
and not to cut you off, but we're also really happy that is the replacement for Kenny Diaz, which of all of the things that are positive, that comes up the most. Get wrecked, Kenny Diaz.
Yeah, Kenny Diaz, sir, not appearing on this card. You made room for a lot of people, and Kenny Diaz is not one of them.
You're
understandably
correct.
So. Those of you who have not been following very closely, Kenny Diaz won the championship in the opening pay-per-view and then immediately asked for a vacation and then threw a temper tantrum when Xander said no. So I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of Kenny Diaz anytime soon. I do think we're about to see a Battle Royale match. And tell us about how this came to be and who people should be watching for.
Yeah, so one of the few Battle Royale matches on the card, right? It is something that we are excited because there's a lot of really good folks. There's a lot of folks that you're going to see, like Xander Cage back in it, Matt Payne in it, trying to make a statement here with some of those upper end wrestlers that you saw earlier. We've got Black Bull, we've got Kota Super, we've got Alexandre Kennedy, Jade Gatlin and Saki Slab, Wijaya showing his face again, DJ Castle, part of the Castle Crashers duo, who is extremely talented. And, this is one of our only big, wrestler-filled cards tonight because we kept it a lot more focused on some individual feuds. But this one's got a lot going on, and there are a lot of different ways it can go. I will just come out and say it. The Lethal Marks, or the Lethal Weapon, Lethal Chris and Lethal Mark, are here because of their feuds with other folks in the middle of this promotion. But talented wrestlers in their own right, and trying to make a name for Lethal Weapon despite being at the lower end. They won't be winning, but a lot of other folks here can win, and I'm curious to see where you guys see it going. I will say Black Bull, a huge member of Burn It All Down, which is a key part of the feuds going on tonight. Alexandre Kennedy on the other side of that. Kota Super, someone who was just in the Brigantia and holds the Triple Glory Championship belt. So, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of names to parse through here. Who stands out to you as we're kind of just sorting through bit by bit?
I'm going to go with the first name that stood out to me, somebody that I really had wanted to draft. Could have been in the Assassino role in Dominatus Tenebris. Black Bull, that is my choice to win this match.
Black Bull's a very interesting one. I mean, he's a strong worker. The fans love him as the face of death. I think he's been feuding with Saki Slab, and I think that's a feud that Xander might be looking to pay off in this match. Personally, I look at Saki Slab and I say, hey, he's 3 overness away from getting hot. He is 12 points away from becoming a main eventer. I think it's between the two of them ultimately. As we already saw with Jaya's, sir. He's not being prioritized in this card. Kota Super is someone with a belt I think would be fair. DJ Castle is someone who's a 4-4 would be fair. Regan Awesome is someone who's a 4-4 and could clearly become a main eventer, I think would be fair. I would go Saki Slab. Welter would go Black Bull. Xander, do you remember who you said?
I think I said Black Bull tonight, right?
You sure did say Black Bull tonight, my friend.
Yeah.
And Black Bull is going to get a nice popularity boost, an 80-point popularity boost, which is quite nice. A huge overness change for him. You see that feud blow off, and you see a 4.5-star match. Not the hottest match we've ever seen, but it is a hot match overall, which means everyone's getting a little bit of overness. Nobody's taking a penalty there. Saki Slab and Black Bull, that ends up being a slightly under 5-star feud. No holy shit moment here, but Battle Royale's 1 experience point away.
Wow, I couldn't get one more. Okay,
1 point.
that's fine.
Oh man, you
can also see we've run a couple of those before, just a few.
Just a couple for sure.
But it is important that Black Bull wins tonight, especially because he is another key representative for Burn It All Down. And they are having a powerful upswing, in the gates of eternity here. They're storming the gates, right? They're storming the gates, and that's why we've seen a lot of them tonight.
We sure have. But we move on to the Triple Glory Championships. We saw earlier Coda Super did not win in the Battle Royale, but he is teamed up here with Matt Robinson and Danny Cole. Danny Cole, of course, who asked not to be in any weekly shows. He's got things going on at the moment. He wants to focus on the pay-per-views and the pay-per-views alone. And Brigantia has been happy to oblige, but they are now going up against Menelaus, the previous triple threat holders, and Chaos Reigns, who are quite the fighters in their own right. Xander, what should people be looking out for in this match?
Yeah, I mean, Brigantia, they are the belt holders right now, triple threat, and on top of that, they just started a new faction during the weeklies, right? And so they are a rough team to beat right now. Danny Cole's well rested. That being said, you've also got Menelaus, who are some extremely talented wrestlers. You've got Gavin Evans, you've got Regan Awesome, and Green Arrow, and then last but not least, you've got Chaos Reigns, who are the trio threat, if you will, coming in from Burn It All Down. And as you guys have seen, there's a lot going on with that tonight. So I like to think that this match, anybody can take it. I'm curious to see where you folks think the belt will end up at the end here.
Yeah, well, Walter, where are you leaning given what we've just heard?
I'm leaning towards keeping with Brigantia, but Chaos Reigns, Burn It All Down. I feel like that's where I would honestly put it. I'm gonna change my vote. Put it on Chaos Reigns.
I really like Chaos Reigns as well. They're very close to being fully over as a trio. But more importantly, Krieger has been such a strong worker. Skullface, you could argue one of the few people that maybe needed some more matches in a stable that has a lot of people fighting all of the time. I really like Chaos Reigns, but I do think that with Brigantia as a new faction, there may be a desire to keep the faction feeling hot, feeling strong early on as they've just been formed. Xander, is Chaos reigning tonight, or is Brigantia going to hold strong?
It's going to be Brigantia holding strong. The key reasoning here, they're a young faction. All of these folks are on their way up individually in their own right as well. You've been seeing more of them in our weeklies. And even though these are talented wrestlers in Chaos Reigns, it's just not enough to overcome tonight. And don't worry, because you're going to see more from Burn It All Down.
Yeah, you absolutely will. I mean, first we're going to see a holy shit moment. Coda Super jumping off a 20-foot ladder onto Skullface gets you your, I believe, 5th holy shit moment of the night.
It sure does.
Racking those up. It is a hot match, so it is going to be a morale and overness boost for everybody involved, and popularity-wise. So everybody wins. It is under 5 stars as far as the match quality. Which is a little bit unfortunate, perhaps, as you continue to push.
I'm going to be honest. I'm okay with it because I don't have any. We don't have any video packages for a producer to wreck us on tonight. So honestly, as long as everything ends up over 4.5 on some of these, more middle end ones, and our high matches do well, I think this is still fine.
Well, we will see. We've still got plenty more wrestling to come, given the mega show that you've been able to activate here, including this men's lightweight championship. Phil Hangtime, the champion, tell us what people can expect from this street fight.
Yeah, so you got Phil Hangtime, a guy who came in as the youngest Hangtime brother, was honestly lower end, but we put him in some big cards, and, made his way really rapidly to the top, got that first lightweight title shot and has not let go since, and has just been putting people down. But he's up against some huge up and comers. I mean, Serpentine Suprema is one that folks have seen, not quite where the overness you would want to see for a huge up and comer, but Serpentine has moved up about 200 popularity roughly from where he began and has been making huge moves. And then Skullshot, a super talented wrestler, someone that has been, taking some L's in some of these matches. But this is Phil Hangtime representing, of course, his faction, the faction of Conquest. And he's also here trying to shut out Deputy Newland, who, came out and said, I'll take on the youngest hang time, brother. He's an old cop, thinks he's the funny one. But he's not, and he's gotten the beatdown handed to him by Phil a couple times already.
Walter, who do you think's got this one?
Hang time supremacy, baby. I'm gonna keep going that way until I'm proven otherwise.
Yeah, that seems to be the way this is going to go. I mean, I'll be honest. I like Serpentine Suprema. I really do. I think he needs more time in the kiln, so to speak. He's gotten a couple wins under his belt, but he's still a little bit away from getting over with the crowd. Phil Hangtime, though, is not that far away from being a face of the company.
At 18, right? Mind you.
Yeah, at 18. Are we right that Phil Hangtime's the guy here?
You're right. You're correct.
Yeah, there we go. And Phil Hangtime gets over the 1,000 threshold. He is now on month 1 of 6 of becoming a face of the company. A 5+ star match, just a little bit of change there thanks to some cool spots. It is going to be a hot match in that everyone gets a little bit of an overness boost and everyone gets a morale boost, which is nice. A couple small hits to popularity, but nothing that these wrestlers can't take. The feud between Deputy Newland and Phil Hangtime just went hot, which I don't think a lot of people were expecting from this. But
I don't think so either, but it did.
And Phil Hangtime on his way to becoming a face of the company. And the men's lightweight championship, if Phil Hangtime keeps serving as this face of the championship, it could very quickly become a silver star belt. It is working its way up the prestige ladder because Phil Hangtime is working his way up the prestige ladder. So a lot to like from this men's lightweight championship. And Phil Hangtime just can't be stopped. Can anyone stop the hang times, I think, is something we'll be having to ask as the card continues. But for now, we go back over to the women's lightweight championship, and we've got an ambulance match. Talk us through it here, Xander.
Yeah, you've got Heika Imoto, who everyone knows, she's been dominant holding on to this belt with, of course, Asahi King having her back. And you've got Korosaru here, who has been nonstop contesting for belts. One of the most talented heels in the entire promotion, has not been able to overcome, a lot of the faces in these matches, but she is colossal. She is that big presence, and at any moment, she could be the one to take it all and start making moves with it. Where do you guys think this is going?
Walter, do you think this is a Korosaru win, or does Heika retain?
I think Heiko retains. She's been doing so well. She's been such a great champion for you. And I feel like I remember her winning another ambulance match. But perhaps I'm misremembering. But I say Heiko Imoto keeps the belt.
I, too, would lean towards Heika. I think she just, over the course of a weekly show, got into that face of the company threshold. And I think you want to keep her there because she is a 4-4 competitor who is fierce, who is young, who with her neon look stands out from the rest of the pack. But I get the feeling, Xander, you might be going in a different direction.
Yeah, it's going to Korosaru here tonight. It's a big upset. It's one that folks were not necessarily ready for, but it works out.
It sure does. That is a 6-star match. The first 6-star match of this card. And Korosaru with the 87-point popularity boost. Heika, thankfully, not taking a popularity hit, which means she's still on her way to being a face of the company even after losing the title. Just says so much about Korosaru, had taken 5 losses and only 1 win in a middling weekly match. That hot match really bringing out the best of each of them. It blows off the feud at over 5 stars, which is really big for main event ready. Heika Imoto is on the way to being face of the company, and Korosaru gets that extra popularity boost based on the main event ready feud. And also a holy shit moment, because why not? Korosaru putting Heika Imoto through the announce table with an elbow drop from the top rope. Another overness boost for Korosaru. And the women's lightweight benefits from the change here. Sure, the reign maybe wasn't as long as the game might like, but the champion quality is what matters here, and the rating of the match gets it to be a positive change. for the people takes a little bit of an L, but Conquest or Death takes the W. And we love to see that kind of experience boost there. So, match of the night so far for Gates of Eternity. And you look at that plus 322 hype for the pay-per-view event. That's everything you want and more if you are a fan of the Glory of Legends stable. But we still have plenty of matches to go in this mega show. Tell us, Xander, about the Tag Belt Championship that we see in front of us.
Yeah. So you see Hang Time Heresy, they've been the most dominant tag that we have fought, held the belt all 3 times, going up against their notorious rivals here in the Castle Crashers, and of course, Vinland Saga, who have been in every single tag match we've ever held. Wolf Klein and Bear Winter, 2 of the most, genuinely the 2 best tag specialists that we have in our promotion. And so this is a lot of the times our tag matches have been 4, 5 tags. This time it's just 3. It's the best 3. It's the most hype 3. And of course you've got the Hang Times, but you've got the Castles, who are both coming off of big individual wins this week in their weeklies. And you've got Vinland Saga, who again, got a good rest. They needed it because they were both exhausted after being used in not 1 but 2 battle royales and a tag match a couple weeks ago. And so, this is going to be the best form tag match we have yet to hold.
Walter, is this another Hang Time win to you? I mean, we see the special referee of Johnny Hang Time.
What? No way! Hang Time Heresy gets the win.
I would go for Hang Time Heresy as well. They've been so dominant. I like Vinland Saga a lot. I'd be very happy to see that the 100% overness, the fan favorites Vinland Saga getting a main event push would be pretty hype to me. But Xander, I think that is there a shocking upset here tonight?
There is a shocking upset here tonight, because what you guys don't know is that Johnny Hangtime doesn't want his brothers to win here, because this is the beginning of the Hangtime Civil War. And
Yay!
Johnny Hangtime is coming in at the end to make sure that the Castle Crashers are the ones that take the win home.
There it is. And that's another near 6-star match full of action. Castle Crashers with a huge blow off here. They win the Better Brothers feud, and the morale and overness speak for itself. Hangtime Heresy, it's a big hit to them. They have plenty of points to spare, so it's not going to be too much of a problem. Same with Vinland Saga. They're very happy to have been such a big part of this company so far. We see no holy shit moment, but a near 5.5-star blow off for the Better Brothers custom feud here. Really nice spot to start here. And I mean, we really will have to see. The Hangtime Civil War is something that I've been very hyped to move forward towards after just seeing Hangtime after Hangtime, win after win. And I can't wait to see how that ends up playing out in the next set of weekly shows that we have ahead of us. But we've got 4 more matches on this card before we can get to that. And it looks like we've got a 3-way men's cruiserweight championship match. Talk to us, Xander. What do we have to expect here?
Yeah, you've got Carson Gold, Azaki Cordova, and Executioner Goro. Carson and Azaki have been trying to punish Executioner Goro for his terrible actions as the leader of Burn It All Down. Executioner has been doing things behind the ring, making life hell for these 2 wrestlers. And, that doesn't stop tonight. There was some word that he was putting thumbtacks in boots, as everyone was getting ready to go. But no, all joking aside, Executioner Goro, the leader of Burn It All Down, is here to put on a show and sort of put these wrestlers in their place. Carson Gold, however, has a good opportunity, has been getting the wins, has, even won a huge battle royale that had a ton of wrestlers from, Burn It All Down in there. And so there is a lot of different ways this can go. Azaki also trying to get his revenge against Executioner Goro for pushing him down the card. Mazaki was over that 800 pop, and Executioner Goro has since pushed him down. So, trying to get revenge on his end as well.
Walter, who do you think has this one?
Executioner Goro. I love the name. Keep the belt on him. Makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Azaki. I like the next Liger as a gimmick here. I like Carson Gold, someone who has had a lot of back and forths. I think he had a belt at one point and then lost it. It's been an up and down year for Carson so far in just this 3-month span that we've been covering in our wrestling competition. But Executioner Goro is 14 points away from becoming a face of the company. And I think that is the faction you have been building towards. I think that's where you're heading. Am I right?
It's where he's
here?
going. Yep,
Yeah.
You're correct. Executioner Goro executes these feuds, and Carson Gold and Azaki are left bloodied on the mat and burn it all down, cement themselves. Executioner cements himself as a face of this company and as a faction leader that will need to be contended with by the best in the business.
And that's a 6-star match. Your second 6-star match in the last 3. You have been only heating up as this card has gone on. It is a hot match thanks to some of the feuds that you've been taking advantage of. And yes, he is a face of the company on the way. And yes, Executioner Goro kicking out of Carson's Gold finisher, used his body to get up and asked to be finished off, making the fans go crazy. I mean, this card just keeps getting better and better. Every moment you think, how can he keep it up? How could he keep an event this hype? And we still have 3 more to go. We're not even close to done yet. Well, we got to keep going. And it is the men's heavyweight championship. Alex Jim, who recently turned face in a weekly show, going up against Kai Galvana, who is already a face of the company. Talk us through it, Xander.
Yeah, so Kai's been a face of the company. Obviously, had to take a bunch of losses to some in a bunch of title fights. Here we are again, though. This time, Kai getting the shot against Alex, who they have wrestled once before in a bigger match with more folks there, but now it is them in the one-on-one. You've got 2 people fighting over who will stay or who will become the face of the company. Alex Jim recently saying, I'm no longer neutral, I'm picking a side, and that is the side of good. And because of that, this feud has gotten even more hype. So it's a big title, it's a big shot, these are great wrestlers, and I'm curious to see where you guys think it goes tonight.
I think with the fact that Alex Jim just turned babyface, you want to keep him hot, right? That's a big thing. That's a big commitment, deciding, well, I'm no longer going to straddle the line. I'm going to be a good guy. You want to keep the fans on his side. You want to keep him popular. You want to keep him hot. You want to keep the belt on him. You want to keep pushing him up into the stratosphere and really turn him into a face of your company.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think Alex Jim is the guy to beat here. Are we right, Xander? Is Alex Jim the superstar we all need?
You are correct. Alex Jim is the superstar you guys all need. And that is going to be him maintaining his position. Obviously 5 stars, so not as hype as we wanted it to be, but this is a very, very consistent matchup you guys will see. We're happy that Kai didn't take so much of a hit. He's no longer face of the company. So at the end of the day, we're still going to chalk it up to a win. I'll be honest, our upper end of the card is filled with heels. We need Alex Jim. He is the hero this promotion needs, because I may or may not have picked a few too many heels when we did our draft without realizing that maybe having all of my faces centered around the 800 to 900 popularity and all of my heels centered around the 900 to 1050 category wasn't exactly the best decision for some of these cards, but it works out tonight.
It certainly does. And you got to know that a card is going well when you're like, man, only 5 stars? Damn, what a shame. Only a 5-star match. But hey, we've got 2 more matches to keep the hype going. And we go now to the Women's Heavyweight Championship. Ume and Miko versus Emily Everett. Walk us through it, Xander.
You've got Emily Everett, the star of the company with Johnny Hangtime, right? Like, there are 2 names when you think of Glory of Legends. It is Johnny Hangtime and it's Emily Everett. And Emily Everett has been dominating our promotion. Anytime she shows up as a special referee, that person wins. Anytime she's in a match, she wins. every time that she is even mentioned, you know that there's going to be some kind of steel cage, some kind of Iron Man, some kind of massive match. And this is our first ever Steel Cell match after leveling it up for the promotion. We're excited to debut it with the only monster hot feud going here between these two wrestlers.
Walter, who do you think's going to take this one? Between two great heel competitors.
I think you keep it on Emily Everett. I don't think Ume Emiko is close enough there with the popularity to become a face of the company. Keep building your mega heel up super strong so that when she does eventually lose, it really means something.
If there was a reason to take it off of Emily, it would only be because I like the idea of her feuding with Johnny Hangtime for the Emperor's belt, a non-gendered belt that is ultimately like the face of the company. I want to see that feud one day, but I don't think it's the time now. I think Emily Everett does take this one. Are we right, Xander?
I don't remember. I think so.
You had Emily Everett on my list.
Yeah, so you're right.
And there you go.
That's what I thought, yeah.
That's a 5+ star match. Emily Everett maintaining her role. Ume Emiko is going to drop to 895 popularity, which is a little bit of a shame, but it is still a very solid match. And oh look, another holy shit moment. Emily Everett threw Ume Emiko off the side of the cell through the announce table, making the fans go crazy and getting another 30 creativity points. Not that Emily Everett needed an overness boost, but why not take one if you can get it? And that's going to be quite the match here. We've got one more. Johnny Hangtime, the holder of the Emperor's belt. The guy who has been the face of the company from draft all the way through. He has been unstoppable so far, and indeed seemed to shift the course of the company through his special referee nature in the tag team. Tell us about this match he has against Alexis Kovac.
Yeah, Alexis, another, individual who has been contending for this belt. Everyone knows Johnny Hangtime. I don't need to talk about Johnny Hangtime. You guys know Johnny Hangtime. It's a matter of whether you think Alexis can overcome this or not. Alexis is 950 popularity, 1-2, recently won a big match. All right, is starting to become the, another very predominant face because there are so few faces in this Hangtime controlled environment here. And it's just a matter of whether or not we think that Alexis is able to overcome the Hangtime supremacy that has reigned supreme all night, other than, of course, Castle Crashers taking the big upset.
Yeah. Walter, is this the time for an upset, or does Johnny Hangtime maintain his role as the Emperor of the Glory of Legends Championship?
No way. We got a civil war that's brewing between the two champions in the Hangtime family and the two losers. There's no way you take the belt off of Johnny Hangtime here.
Yeah, the man of gold, I think, maintains his role as the man of gold.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend. It's Johnny Hangtime.
There we go.
Johnny Hangtime keeps it.
Here's the thing. It's a 6-star match, and Alexis Kovac gets a bigger popularity boost than Johnny. That's what you want to see. A hot match between two incredible competitors. That head-to-head indeed paying off well for you. The feud is now hot, which means each of them has a higher chance of making hot matches in the future. And oh, by the way, another holy shit moment. Johnny Hangtime catapulting Alexis Kovac into the steel wall. The fans are going crazy. Johnny Hangtime didn't have any overness to gain, but the Steel Cell matches will have a higher popularity boost moving forward, thanks to their role in tonight's match. An incredible 54 experience points from that match alone. And that is quite the card that you have put together, Xander. And I'm going to be honest, there it is, a 5.5-star card. That is going to put you in the lead for tonight. And checking through my notes here, there has only been one other 5.5-star card in the history of this competition. It was my second pay-per-view that managed to hit the heights of 5.5 stars. But unless I can recreate that, Xander, you are well on your way to getting another point. You certainly got 250 creativity points. How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, well, listen, I'm going to be honest. We are, despite all of those holy shit moments, we're down money after this because we spent everything on that card. We spent an artifact. I spent an extra 140 creativity points we didn't get back, despite having arguably the best holy shit performing card, I think, even relative to your other 5.5 star card. I think that's got to be the most holy shit moments on any card we've ever seen. Being helped, of course, by the artifact.
By the fact that you had 14 fucking matches, that does help. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe, and I ran 0 video production. But no, we came away with a big card tonight. It was everything we wanted to see. We pushed storylines. We moved people up the card we wanted to move up. The folks that we didn't want to drop didn't drop overall. We're not looking at having to do too much damage control. Everybody seemed happy with their matches, and our biggest narratives just showed themselves for what you guys are going to see for the next 3 months. So all in all, no matter what happens, whether or not we end up taking the dub tonight, if you are able to overcome us, I am more than pleased with tonight's card. It did everything we wanted and more. And, I honestly, on that front, I'm just looking forward to what comes in the weeklies this week and how we're going to follow up on the storylines we built tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very happy with the card that I put together. I think beating what you put together is going to be very difficult because it was not only a 5.5 star card, but like you said, a lot of holy shit moments, a lot of hype moments, a lot of hype blow-offs for feuds really coming together in a way that I will be honest, I'm a little bit worried about. But I have put together Magically Enhanced Wrestling, our Mana Unleashed event. We may not have a mega show because the game has not chosen to smile upon us in quite the same way it has smiled upon you. But we do have quite the show for you tonight. I am very happy with the 12 matches. I, too, have not done any sort of production segment here because I want the matches to speak for themselves. I want the quality of these wrestlers to shine, and I've put together a card that I think does so very well. I'm proud of the card we put in. I think you have a lot of fun moments to look forward to, and I am hoping that the audience here in Journey of Wrestling agrees. This is quite the poster that we have in mind. This is our biggest event of the year in front of a fully packed audience. We're going to skip the previews. There's no time for that because we have our first match of the night, a 10-way Battle Royale match. Now, something that you all should know, if you have not been watching the weeklies, I had a plan going into tonight's event, which is why you're already seeing plus 334 hype, which I think is about as much as you had at the end of your card.
Yeah, that's pretty hype.
Because I had not one, not two, but 3 faction feuds for the Kingdom, for the Power, for the Glory. For the Glory is my women's feud. For the Power is the Western Watch versus the Southern Sentries. And for the Kingdom is the Northern Nightmare versus the Eastern Elite. Every single one of my weekly shows focused on one of those 3 feud packages. The goal here was to accentuate and Magically Enhanced Wrestling that we have a world with its own politics that are being resolved in these matches, and this is the biggest event of the year. You're going to see the biggest faction feuds coming to a head, and a battle royale like this is a perfect place for that to happen. You have 10 competitors here, all of whom have put together some incredible matches over time. Miracle Oda, who has gotten incredibly hot with his new mythical being gimmick. Lucas Meltzer is 0 to hero. Evan Zane, so close to getting over. Jan Sanake, member of the Savage Vengeance duo that has put together some incredible work, will not be competing in our tag team match tonight. But also just, you go down the list, right? Devin Moxie is a 3-3 that would love a boost to his overness. Ali Noble is a 3-3 that would love a boost to his overness. Mikey Dolan, same thing, 18-year-old heel would love the boost. Vinny Stacks, 19-year-old face would love the boost. And Grim Oxley, just 1 point away, is a 21-year-old heel, the hardest worker in the indies, finally getting a potential breakthrough. I'll start with you, Xander. Who do you think I'm giving this one to?
This is a little unfair because I was maybe or maybe not present for this one when we were discussing. But I will say, I'm going to say it again, all right? Regardless of who you may or may not have chosen, I love Lucas Meltzer, okay? I know he's only 6'30", but he's 25 years old. He's a 4'4". It's the exact kind of guy I would want to push up in a big match like this. If it were up to me, I would be giving it to him, though I can obviously see the argument for Grim Oxley. I can see the argument for John Sanake, but again, I like Lucas Meltzer personally.
Who would you give it to, Walter?
I'm going to say Grim Oxley. Just get him over the hump. Guarantee that it's taken care of. You'll have yourself a 4-3. And maybe if you get lucky, a bunch of people get over in this match.
Not only a 4-3, he's going to be a 4-4 if this gives me the overness, and I believe it will. Okay, well,
Oh, no.
So let's start with the good.
Oh, no.
It's a 5-star match. That's good. It did go hot, which means that Grim Oxley got over with the fans. Mikey Dolan, Devin Moxie both got overness boost, which is great with the fans. Devin Moxie, however, a severe injury.
Oh, no.
I am mad.
You got a holy shit moment, though, before he died.
Yeah, Grim Oxley, Kid Vinny stacks with 3 consecutive finishers. That's cool. For the Kingdom, pays off here. It's really unfortunate because it was only 2.5 out of 8, but I had so many matches on the card here that I had to blow it off if I didn't want it to go stale by the end of the night, and I wasn't willing to risk that on a faction level, seeing what had happened to you, Xander.
Yeah.
I think had it taken into account everything that's going to happen tonight, I would have gotten a little bit more. Man, what the fuck, Devin? 0.1% chance. All I'm asking, game, if I could just make a plea, real quick, pretty please. If you're going to give me an injury, can it at least be more than a 0.1% chance? Because I've had 4 injuries now. 4 fucking injuries that have each had 0.1% chance or less.
Maybe you should have just done better, you know? Did you think about that one? Maybe just do better.
Everyone
you really
became
need to
more
talk
popular.
to your wrestlers about taking care of their coworkers better, because that is clearly an issue inside your promotion. People are not looking out for each other, and like you said, this is now your 4th injury. I mean, at least your doctor is going to get to work on it, and you're going to get to level up your doctor, but like, come on, man, that is.
Have you considered
that
that maybe this is karma for all of those times? I mean, how many times was it that you've had a wrestler get injured? How many times did you click something that Eduardo didn't want you to click? Is there a coincidence? I'm just saying.
I think it might be the exact number of 1-to-1. I might be 4 misclicks to 4 injuries.
I'm just saying. You know, is Eduardo doing it to you on purpose? Is it on accident? Has he hacked the game code? You know, like, we don't know these things, and you know, you have to examine deep in your heart what you believe if you're a fan of Journey of Wrestling.
Look, everyone got a popularity boost. Grim Oxley is now a main eventer, hit 800 exactly with that. Oh, Devin. You know, We're gonna move on. It's just gonna make me sad if I focus on that part too much, because there's a lot of positives here. There are a lot of things that are positive about this if I just ignore that one red square. So we're going to move on so I don't have to look at it anymore. And that's going to take me to a 6-way last man standing match, which again has a few of these for the power feud here. You see Bryson Pierce, who is already over and is a main eventer. Ryu Otake, who's 3 points away from becoming over and is a main eventer. Riku Inoki, the other half of Savage Vengeance, an incredible competitor in his own right, beloved by the fans, has yet to have a singles match win. Yellow Arrow, who is 5 away, won a Battle Royale at the last pay-per-view and is trying to prove himself while Red Arrow recovers from his own injury. Ideally, this would have been the Magic Missiles coming out and trying to reclaim the title that they had won at the first pay-per-view as the tag champions. That doesn't fucking happen because Red Arrow didn't recover in time. But maybe Yellow Arrow can make his own boost, make his own push. Victor Magnus, a main event 4-4 beloved by the fans. And Eli Chaos, a face 18-year-old phenom 4-4 beloved by the fans. It is a stacked list of competitors that I've put together here. And so the question is, Walter, which of these 6 do you think I gave the nod to?
I think you're going to give it to Yellow Arrow. I think your intention here is trying to keep Yellow Arrow super hot so that when Red Arrow does come back from that injury, they can get off and running. I know some people are probably forgetting about Red Arrow, so by keeping his tag team partner hot, you're guaranteeing that they'll be in a good spot.
Xander, who would you give this to if you were in my shoes?
Yeah, I would give it to Victor Magnus. I think Victor Magnus has the higher upside. I also think that, when Yellow Arrow's probably going to get a lot of love when Red Arrow returns. I would be lying if I said that I would have thought that off the top of my head. I maybe or may not heard that from the guy who set this card up, but, we'll see. I couldn't remember who won my own card, so I don't know that I remember who wins your card.
That's true. Look, I like Yellow Arrow. I do believe that when Magic Missiles returns, he's going to have his chance to push, and I'm excited to give him that opportunity. I am giving this one to Ryu Otake, the dragon of the SDPW, a man who has been working his ass off to get an opportunity like this. And there we fucking go. A near 6-star match, a hot match.
Huge.
Everyone's getting over. Everyone's getting popularity boost. Everyone here is now a main eventer. If they weren't already, they sure fucking are now. And Ryu Otake is now over with the fans. He is another 4-4 that I have in my arsenal for matches moving forward. A lot of new feuds coming out. And oh, by the way, my second holy shit moment in 2 matches, Ryu Otake powerbombing Eli Chaos off the ramp. That's how we fucking do it. Western Watch and Southern Centuries each getting a boost as a result of the hot members that they have developed here. And that is a start to my card. We have not even gotten to the titles yet, but Ryu, I think he has proven himself as a competitor. I think Yellow Arrow is going to be just fine. And we're going to see maybe in the first weekly, those of you who like to follow week to week. We'll see what Magic Missiles are capable of once Red Arrow makes his return. We move forward now to a 10-way unsanctioned match. This is a match between a lot of different competitors, all of whom I think would love to claim their spot on this card and really make their push up the ladder. Michael Himalayan, a 4-4 with only 651 popularity. He deserves a push if he can get the opportunity. Bryce Dannenberg, 67 overness. He needs a little bit more of a push there, but he is a very talented heel if given some love. Jackson Hall, just 2 overness away, a main eventer, 27-year-old heel with a lot of upside. Jay Xavier was a main eventer, fell down the card after a loss, and would really benefit from getting a little bit more of a push. Brady Killjoy, just 6 points away from going over, a 26-year-old face with a lot of upside. Joey Smoking Gun Ace, they love the gimmick, they don't really care about Joey. Can they make him care about Joey with a win tonight? River Dannenberg, 15 points away from being a main eventer, 3 points away from getting over. A win here would be huge for River Dannenberg and would put him above his brother, who are in opposing factions. These are brothers who do not get along. Do not think that because they share a last name, they share a common goal, because they are not on the same page here. LT Barone, the Shark, someone who has been trying to move his way up, a 22-year-old face who would love a push here. Matthew Donovan, a 27-year-old face who would love a push here. And Asher Collins, a 21-year-old heel who is already beloved by the fans, and if he can get one win under his belt, could easily become a main eventer. I think there are a lot of people here who would benefit from winning this match. Walter, because you haven't been on call with me to talk about this, who do you think should get this win?
I'm gonna say Jackson Hall. He's right there, close to the overness, getting over. That would make him, I believe, a 4-4 with the overness. And I mean, I don't know. There's so many people that are close there. I would personally say Joey Smoking Gun Ace because I love the name. But we know you're not going to do that because every time I say his name, it's not it. So let's go with Jackson Hall.
Okay. Do you think, Xander, that this is Jackson's match, or do you think someone else deserves some love?
This could be going to Jackson or Brady, but listen, if it's me here, I'm giving it to my boy Matty D. All right, Matty Donovan. All right. Why is it going to Matty Donovan? That guy's got talent. That guy could also use a little bit of a morale boost. And at 27, you still got a lot of work that this dude can put in. Also, he's picture perfect at 69%. Nice.
That is nice. Unfortunately for you, I think Walter makes the better argument. And Jackson Hall is indeed the guy I'm giving this to. And look at that, a 5.5-star match. It goes hot, which means you see overness boost for multiple competitors here. Everyone's getting a morale boost, so no concerns there. And Jackson Hall is indeed going to get over with this one by quite a bit. The disrespect feud between Larger Than Life and Hall of Pain goes hot. Matthew Donovan is starting to get over. River Dannenberg is over, and Jackson Hall is over. Por qué no las dos, I ask the crowd. Give me both of them as 4-4s moving forward. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And look, River maybe takes a slight popularity hit, but he only needs one big win, and he's going to be a main eventer too. So I feel great about how this goes. And oh, by the way, 3 matches, 3 holy shit moments. Jackson Hall hitting Brady Killjoy with 3 consecutive finishers. That's another holy shit moment. 2 hot members added to Northern Nightmare. They are the faction to beat right now. And oh, by the way, a popularity boost for my unsanctioned matches, because this is how these matches are going to go for me. It's my second gimmick match that I level up over the course of this card. I'm just saying, Xander, you had a hell of a card, but I ain't going down without a fight. And speaking of not going down without a fight, we got an Iron Man match for the Kingdom and a main event ready push. Shane Mack versus Derek Nash. They've been feuding for a bit back and forth. Derek Nash has the 1 win against Shane Mack so far when they've actually had just a head-to-head. Otherwise, they've been in matches with other competitors because they do a great job of lifting people up. Derek Nash, the Extreme King, a 4-4 with who is well over with the crowd, already a main eventer at 28 years old, with a gimmick that people like and knows how to take risks and really make the most out of these high-profile moments. Shane Mack, he owns this business. He's a 25-year-old face who is not that far away from being a main eventer in his own right, well over with the crowd, and a big match specialist who luckily is injury resilient, which means the risk-taking from Derek Nash really cancels each other out. It's one of the reasons that they've bounced off each other so well in the ring. Walter, who do you think takes this one?
Give it to Shane Mack. Get him up into that main event status.
You agree, Xander?
No. I think that while you've got Shane looking to push, I think that Derek Nash going even higher offers a little bit more here.
Okay. I agree with you. I like Derek Nash a lot. He's a 4-4 rather than a 4-3, and that's enough for me. Luckily, I don't have to fucking choose because Shane Mack is going to get a little bit of a boost. Not quite a main eventer, but a huge boost from Derek Nash. He is jumping well up the card. 5.5 stars with an additional bonus there. It's a hot match that is going to be blown off into a 5.5 star feud. He does get the popularity boost to become an even deeper main eventer, and my Iron Man match continues to be a great way to crawl your way up the card. I'm happy with that one. I got so used to all those holy shit moments, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of what is undeniably a great place to be. Now, we have a last man standing match. You're going to notice Duka Ikarishi. She is one of the 3 members of the Chosen Ones, the Jester Joust champions. She has tried to have some solo matches recently because her competitors, or her teammates, I should say, are also both in duos, which keep them busy sometimes. And indeed, we're going to see them in just a moment for the Keepers of the Realm Championship, the women's tag belt. She is a 4-4 that is beloved by the fans, but has yet to get that solo win. She is going up against Viuda Negra, who just accelerated her role into a main eventer by getting a new gimmick, the Frightening Voodoo gimmick that has worked pretty well so far. She's 3 points away from getting over, 3 points away from becoming a 4-3 as a 23-year-old heel with a lot of upside here. Walter, who do you think's taking this one?
I think you keep it on the. Doka Igarashi here. They are the champion. Viuda Negra is not close enough to actually be worth the effort there, and take the belt off of a champion at this point. So keep it on Dioka and go from there.
So, does it change your opinion that this is a solo match, so there's no belt on the line?
I saw the championship line. That's my bad.
It's okay if it doesn't change your mind. I just want to.
You know what? I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with Doka.
Okay. What about you, Xander?
It's going to Viuda.
You think it's going to Vieta? You were right, Walter. Doka continues to be the chosen one. It is a blow-off of this women's feud. Unfortunately, that feud did not go hot during their weekly event, so it has to be blown off relatively early. The Sky Sentinels, the faces of the women's division, are going to take the win here in that feud. And it's a 5 and some change star match. Duka continues to be just an incredible performer. Viuda takes a little bit of an overness hit, which I was not hoping for, because I think that she has a high potential moving forward. 4.5 star feud for the Glory is not exactly what I had in mind, but at the same time, Scourge of the Underdark remain a 5-star faction, while the Sky Sentinels continue to climb up with a 6 reputation. And we'll see if they can even build off of that as we move forward. But here we go. This is the Keepers of the Realm Championship I was talking about. We have a 6-way tag elimination match. You are not winning this belt until all of your competitors are out of the ring and eliminated. Jade Empire, of course, led by Mistress Jade, one of the fiercest solo competitors that we've had in our faction, paired with Kaio Jade, who got really upset that we called her out for some bullshit in a Wrestlers Court mini event. So she is unhappy, but luckily they balance out to being just okay. Flying high, of course, Ai Hakai and Davida. Davida being one of the 3 members of the Chosen Ones, recently took the belt and have had a solid performance so far. 2 wins, including their one that took the title. Rude Awakening, Alana Elise and Tijuana King. 2 people that would love to get a nice push here. Alana Elise, someone who turned face despite being a part of the Scourge of the Underdark faction. Overflow, one of the heel factions, heel tags that has done well for the women's division. Shots Fired, the first, someone who hasn't had the title before, but did win a match recently, I believe, against Overflow on a weekly show. And of course, you can't forget the Shooting Stars, who were previously the champions of the division and got their own win on a weekly. They're trying to claw their way back. And oh, by the way, Malachi Bronson, Cyan Orion, 2 people from the Sky Sentinels who would love to have the belt back in their possession. A lot of different ways this can go. Walter, where do you think this one's heading?
I think you're going to keep the belt on Flying High here. I think you've made it pretty safe to say that the Jade Empire, only one of them really matters. So keep the belt on the current champions that you just put it on.
Okay, Xander, do you agree?
I do agree. I think there's a lot of good arguments here, except for Shooting Stars. They suck. But
how dare you?
But I like Jade Empire. I like Flying High. I like Rude Awakening even though they haven't gotten the dub yet. Shots Fired has their talent in there. But yeah, I think it's just gonna stay the course.
So here's the thing, and this may be a little bit inside baseball. It's actually very awkward when you have a trio of women who need to become main eventers by the end of the year as a trio, when you can't have them wrestle as a trio without foregoing the tag belt. It gets things very awkward very quickly. And so it's actually really helpful if Rude Awakening take the win here, which is exactly what they're going to do. And it is going to be a hot match. Not quite 5-star, which
That's exactly the number of stars we wanted to see that match have.
I disagree on that, but that is indeed.
When I say we, I mean Glory of Legends, not your promotion.
That's
your promotion would have liked it higher.
Alana Elise is over with the fans, so that worked out well. Tijuana King starting to get over. Rude Awakening, it is a big push for them that's going to help moving forward. Wendy Blank and Davida both got an increased gimmick, which is quite nice. No holy shit moment here. But because I got the Philosophist character over, I can now have a game dev as one of my gimmicks moving forward if I want to get a game dev in one of my new gimmicks for one of my wrestlers. Maybe I'll have to make use of that. Look, is it as hype as I wanted it to be? No. But every faction got a popularity boost. Every faction got an overness boost. Every faction got a tag, I should say, got a morale boost, which means that I did something right, even if the fans aren't necessarily as hype about it as everybody else. I will take it. I will put it in my back pocket, and I'm going to hope that the rest of my card can carry me here, because I've got a 5-way Iron Man match for the Flame Warlock Championship. La Bestia del Infierno has been a tour de force within my faction, on his way to become a face of the company at 1,002 popularity. A 4-4 who has been dominant in his own solo matches. But Fuerza de Dragon has been right at his heels. Another 4-4 25-year-old face who has been itching for a chance to take the title back from him. Prince Pretty Pink was at one point a face of the company, dropped off as a result of the events of the second pay-per-view, and is desperate to prove that he deserves to be in that upper echelon, that he deserves to be the guy in the magically enhanced wrestling promotion. Adrian Lorenzo, a 4-4 24-year-old heel. He and Christopher Devlin in my original league were besties in how they were able to dominate my division, and Adrian would love to recreate that success here. And who can forget Alpha Jackson, the 19-year-old heel with the peak masculinity gimmick, 97 overall. These are all, you're going to notice, 4-4 competitors. These are the best of the best competing against each other in the Flame Warlock Championship. All of them incredible performers. Xander, who would you give the title to?
Sorry, I would give the title to Prince Pretty Pink. Prince Pretty Pink. I love Tarek. Okay, Tarek is great, and I love that your league has a Tarek. You know, and if it were up to me and I am in charge of your card, that is who would be taking the belt tonight. I would be propelling Prince Pretty Pink to heights never before seen. We're talking 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 popularity minimum.
Wow, okay. Walter, what about you? Do you think Prince Pretty Pink deserves the win?
You know, I could understand moving Prince Pretty Pink back into the face of the company tier, but La Bestia del Inferno just won the belt and is on his way there himself. Keep the belt on him and hope Prince Pretty Pink doesn't take that much of a popularity hit, so you get another chance, maybe in a different feud, maybe with a different belt, to get him up there.
Walter, I couldn't agree with you more. I am keeping the belt on La Bestia del Infierno. It is unfortunately going to knock Prince Pretty Pink outside of the threshold, but everyone gets a morale boost. Most of them get an overness boost. And oh, by the way, that is a near 6-star match thanks to the lively start that these wrestlers were able to bring to the match. You love to see that. Fuerza de Dragon and La Bestia del Infierno is a hot feud moving forward, which you love to see. Also missed earlier, the Mr. Jade and Cyan Orion has become a hot feud, so that's going to be another singles match to maybe look forward to. Unfortunately, that feud got hot immediately after I blew it off, so I'm not actually going to be able to take advantage of that. But
big Sag.
But here's the thing. Something we have not gotten to yet because we're still very early on. 6 months, maybe even a year from now, assuming that we're still doing this together, you can rekindle a feud. And how well the feud did last time can give you a big boost as to how the feud does the next time around. So, in the long run, maybe things will work out. I have not gotten a holy shit moment since that third match of the card, which is a little bit of a bummer. But I am happy with how the Flame Warlock Championship continues to progress. The feuds here, the challengers, the champions, it's all coming together for the Flame Warlock Championship, and I think that's going to be a silver belt sooner rather than later. La Bestia del Infierno, he's well on his way, and I'm proud of how much work he's put in. But we're now here for the Defenders of the Realm Championships. This is the men's tag belt. Highway Robbery. You could say they committed Highway Robbery to get this belt because they took out the magic missiles by taking out Red Arrow and breaking his wrist. He is on his way to recovering, but since that injury, Highway Robbery have maintained this title and they hope to maintain it. Rob DiBiase and Connor Hansen, two great competitors, big match specialists, tag team specialists, know how to get the best out of each other. But of course, you have the Hylian Cross, Ezekiel Cross and Gerudo, both wrestlers that would love to get over with the crowd, just 1 point away from getting over as a duo. No bullshit, 1 point away from being main eventers as a duo, and very much strong competitors who recently won a feud during one of the a match, I should say, during one of the weeklies here. And who can forget Out of This World? Sammy Emerald may be tired, but he is one of the best faces in my company, and someone who wants to pull DJ Vector up with him as they get in some of these big matches. Walter, who do you think's taking this title?
Yeah, nobody's taking that belt off a highway robbery unless it's the Arrows.
Do you agree with that, Xander?
I may or may not agree.
Yeah, that's how this works. But hey, the crowd fucking
Oh my
loves
God.
it. 6.5-star match, ladies and gentlemen. That is the highest ranked match of the night. And I
think
will
ever.
take it.
I think ever.
Possibly ever. I'd have to go back and double check my notes.
I don't remember ever seeing a 6.5 star.
User has left the channel.
Look at that overness boost for everybody. Look at the popularity boost for everybody. Look at the morale boost for everybody.
My card is now officially in danger of not winning tonight.
That is a hot feud here. Oh, by the way, Vance Porter's over with the fans. Oh, by the way, Ezekiel Cross is starting to get over with the fans. Oh, by the way, Rob DiBiase got up from Ezekiel Cross's finisher before asking him to hit another, getting me another holy shit moment. And oh, by the way, look at how that Defenders of the Realm Championship continues to be pushed forward. I'm telling you guys, there's a reason that Highway Robbery have maintained their role as champions. And oh boy, if you think that these two cowboys have proven themselves so far, just wait. You think the Magic Missiles, people want to see Red Arrow do well. People want to see the Yellow Arrow take the leap. But Highway Robbery aren't going down without a fight. They may not have been able to win in the everybody fighting in the first pay-per-view. But in a one-on-one feud, do the Magic Missiles have what it takes? We're going to have to see. But Highway Robbery proven tonight that they are not going to be pushed over without a fight. We've got 4 more matches on tonight's card, including this Frost Witch Championship. It is a 6-way ladder match. Ariana Black, make 'em see Black. She is 1 point away from becoming a face of the company, one of the strongest female heels across all of the wrestling promotions as far as I'm concerned. 24 years old, a force to be reckoned with, ring general, natural charisma, gifted acrobat. I don't know what more you could want from someone like her. But you look at someone like Briar Allison, who's been feuding against her a little bit recently, also a 4-4 in her own right, would desperately love to cement herself as a main eventer here. Kagetsi, a 4-3 heel, 29 years old, not far from being a main eventer. Tilly Cooper, the authoritarian patriot, beloved by the fans, a 27-year-old heel who would love to get that 10 points to become a main eventer in her own right. Skull Tabaka, the masked maniac, recently won an event in the For the Glory weekly show that happened just last week and has proven herself as a masked maniac that should not be underrated. And oh, by the way, Sumi Kabaya, a 4-4, 26-year-old face who would love her first win as part of this company, but who's been a part of a lot of very good matches. Xander, of these 6 competitors, who do you think is getting the nod?
Yeah, I would give it to Ariana Black, personally, even though you did say she was, I guess you said she was one of the most talented heels of all the promotions, which is fair. Because we know she's not the most, because Emily Everett exists. But, abstract of that, you could get her to Emily Everett status by, giving her a win here. So, or, close to. That would be my argument. Give it to Ariana Black. And then that way, when that thing comes up that you and I both know comes up, maybe they get to throw down with each other.
Yeah, that thing that may or may not happen, called the Grand Invitational 3 months from now, may or may not be a chance to see who is the better heel indeed. Walter, do you agree with that, though? Is Ariana the clear winner to you here?
Absolutely, keep it on her.
Yeah, no, make them see Black. Make them see the glory of the Frost Witch Championship. It's a 5-star match, not as hype as I would like, which is weird to say about a 5-star match But look at the morale boost from everybody. Look at the overness boost for everybody. Look at the popularity boost. Tilly Cooper is now a main eventer. Briar Allison is going to maintain her role there. Kagetsi is very close. We see the Sumi Kabaya and Skull Tabaka feud gets hot, so we're going to see more from them sooner rather than later. We see, actually, no, it resolved in a blow-off, so it's a 5.5 star. I'm okay with that. Ariana Black on her way to being the face of the company, and oh, by the way, Ariana jumping off a 20-foot ladder on the Sumi for a holy shit moment, my 5th of the night. My greatest wrestler feud upgrades here as that gets blown off. Ladder match is very close to being 5-star. And you know what? That's, at the end of the day, all you can really ask for from a match like this. Ariana Black continuing to prove herself as a force to be reckoned with. We've got 3 more matches left on this card. The King of the Thunderdome Championship. This is my belt that needs to be resolved in a cage, needs to be resolved in a gimmick of some kind. It started with Monty Hendricks, the gift from God, the 4'4", 23-year-old face who is willing to get down and dirty, willing to take risks as a gifted acrobat that does his best work in a big match. Gavin Smith, the first person he feuded against, a 4'4", 27-year-old heel who is 5 points away from becoming a main eventer and is his own risk-taking gifted acrobat who does well in big matches. And then you have Asha Nieves, who is a natural heel, a big match specialist, and a ring general. The Buzzsaw, who after 2 losses early on in his time with the company, just took the title at the last pay-per-view. Walter, do you think Monty's going to reclaim here? Is this Gavin's to take over, or does Ashton retain?
I think you keep it on Ashton Nieves at this point. You know, he's very over with the fans. You can keep working on that popularity, pushing him up. But nobody else is, nobody is really close to being a face of the company here. So go ahead and keep it on the champion. And maybe in a pay-per-view or 2, Gavin Smith will be a main eventer, and then that's when he can get the belt.
Do you agree with that, Xander?
I think Monty retains the title here. He reclaims the title here.
Okay.
Yes.
He is a gift from God. He does believe that it is his to win, but it is Ashton Nieves who I'm going to give it to. There we go. Near 6-star match. Ashton Nieves with a 77 popularity. That gets him into the 900s. Gavin Smith just 2 popularity away from getting to the main eventer. They really couldn't have given him 2 points, huh? That's fine. You know what? That's okay. I'm going to take a near 6-star. I'm going to take the Monty Hendricks and Gavin Smith match feud going hot. The hot match between the 3 of them I will be happy with. And not a holy shit moment, but the King of the Thunderdome Championship certainly does well. The Steel Cage is going to see a popularity boost moving forward, and I have unlocked the Steel Cell match for myself. So I'm going to consider all of that to be a success here tonight. Ashton Nieves, the Buzzsaw, the 22-year-old 4'4" heel. We have not seen the last of him, that is for sure. But we have a big match here. The Sorcerer Supreme, the men's main championship belt. El Muerte Blanco has held it since the promotion began. He is the White Death. He is well over with the crowd, a 4'4" face of the company, a ring general workhorse who knows how to handle himself in the big matches and does an incredible job therein. And he asked for the casket match. He wants to bury Fishbone, someone who already fell below the main event status as a result of the last match that they had at the previous pay-per-view. However, Fishbone here has clawed his way back, won a 2v2 alongside Fuerza de Dragon in the weekly match. He is the backbreaker who would love nothing more than to get himself back in the conversation as a face of this company. And he's not afraid of a casket match. He is here to fight and earn his spot back. Xander, who do you think's taking this one?
El Fishbone.
You think I would say you're adding an L to Fishbone, but you do think the face takes it here?
I do think the Fishbone takes it here. I like the trajectory that Fishbone has been on, El Muerte Blanco, despite being very talented, he can take a bit of a hit. Like, obviously, you don't want him to take a big hit. But I think that Fishbone taking it here cements this feud in a really, meaningful way. And then on top of that, builds for both of them to continue this back and forth as, top faces of the company for quite some time.
Do you agree with that, Walter?
No, I think you keep it on El Muerto Blanco. There doesn't seem to be any benefit of pushing it on Fishbone. I'm not sure on the mechanics, but does a person have to get back under 1,000 and then come back to 1,000 before they can regain face of the company status?
So for the record, the fact that he lost face of the company status proves that he already was under 1,000 at the after the end of the last pay-per-view. He's gotten back over it because of the result of a weekly, but he was under it before. So he is still 0 of 6, if you will. He has to be over it at the end of this pay-per-view if he's going to start that journey back again.
Gotcha. Then I say you put it on Fishbone and keep him over 1,000. That way he can build his way back into being face of the company.
You're goddamn right you put it on Fishbone. That is a 5.5-star match. Fishbone back to being fully over. Gets the popularity boost. El Muerte Blanco maybe takes a morale hit, but that's okay. He's going to be able to handle it because I've got big plans for him. The important part here is that the fans are hyped to see Fishbone reclaim his status. That is a hot match between the two of them in an already hot feud. It does blow off the feud, a 5.5-star blow off, which I think might be enough. I don't get a holy shit moment, though Fishbone is on his way to being a face of the company again. Greatest wrestler, it does look like maybe a little bit more experience needed before I can make that a gold. But the Eastern Elite are going to benefit from their leader winning a championship. I do believe that losing a feud, losing the championship for the Northern Nightmare boosts them down a little bit, but they have so many hot members it hardly matters. So really, I think the faction here played a lot into it. The fact that El Muerte Blanco, as a faction leader, could take the L.
I think you end up with 5 3/4 stars too, if my math is correct.
Well, there's one more match left, my friend. It's not over yet.
Right, it's not over yet. There's one more.
We have one more match, the 2/3 falls match, or main event between Lorena Lucier and Emu Mikio in the Sorceress Supreme. Emu Mikio has been the title holder since this promotion began. She is a 27-year-old heel 4-4 who does her best when the pressure is on. Big match specialist, ring general, leader in the clubhouse. Lorena Lucier just fell under the main event threshold as a result of losing last week in the weekly show, despite the fact that it was a DQ. Emu cheated in order to prevent Lorena from winning. It was a purposeful disqualification so that the title would not change hands. But Lorena has been hungry for it. She's a 22-year-old 4-4, a naturally charismatic risk taker who loves to put herself in the ring and take these big shots here. Walter, do you think Lorena can pull off the upset, or does Emu and Mikio succeed where Ume failed on Xander's card just a little bit ago?
It could go either way here, but I would focus on securing Amu on her face of the company journey here. 10-18 is close to falling off if she loses, so I would just keep it on her. You can always build Lorena back up later on.
Do you concur with that, Xander?
I would love to see Emu lose, because then there's just no argument that Emily Everett is the best in the business when it comes to the women wrestling currently. But that's for you to decide in your promotion.
Here's the thing. Lorena Lucier, you could read her gimmick two different ways, right? You can either say she's the next best thing, like she's just a tier below, or that she is the next best thing. And that's the way I choose to read it. This is Lorena's belt. That is a near 6-star match. That is 101 popularity. She immediately goes over. That is going to be a little bit more of a hit to Emu than I would have liked. She is going to fall substantially because Lorena fell under that threshold. To be honest with you, I built up how this match was going to end well before I saw the results of the last weekly show. It hurts that the penalty for Emu is going to be so much higher because Lorena got to 799 rather than 800. It is literally 1 point of popularity that makes the difference between Emu losing a few points and Emu losing 34 points. But that's not Lorena Lucia's fault. It's not. It's the fact that the DQ was not executed as well by Emu as it should have been. She knew what her job was in the ring, so she has no one but herself to blame for that. She's still going to be over with the crowd. She's still going to be popular and have her own stuff going on. But
You're running a bit late on Faces of the Company these days over there.
that was already too late, my friend. If you will remember, at the pay-per-view Firestorm, which was the bronze pay-per-view, I lost 2 of my 3 faces.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you're running a bit light over there.
I've got a lot of main eventers, and I've got a lot of people who are on their way to becoming. This is everybody lifts themselves up. I don't need a couple faces of the company. I need everybody to be a main eventer that everyone wants to tune into. I need everybody to be these 4-4s that are capable of putting on great matches. And Lorena putting Emu and Mikio through the announce table with an elbow drop from the top rope makes the fans go crazy, gets the creativity bonus here. And I think that near 6-star match.
I think you got to be 5 3/4, I imagine.
It's only 5.5, which means it's going to come down to fans. And I got to be honest with you here.
I think you might take it with the feud hype and all that.
414 hype. If I don't know what I could do. There it fucking is.
Yep.
100.9k fans gained. Look at that. I've never seen that number so high before.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. Yeah, here. I'm gonna let you mourn for a second before I celebrate, because that is bullshit from your end. But 100.9k, baby, come on! What more could you ask for?
Yeah, you have officially overtaken my promotion in the fan department. So congrats to you on that. I will say that we're still really happy with the card tonight because I made all my money back, or most of it. And I didn't lose any faces to the company. So at the end of the day, I think we're all right.
You see Eduardo here. Xander here gains 32k fans. Eduardo loses 44k with a 5.25 star card, which ultimately feels just a little bit silly, but not as silly as Walter. I think you're playing the game now, and you've set up so many feuds with his new beginnings. I think there's a new era of the SWA coming. But I'm not going to lie to you, that number looks harsh. I'm sorry about that, unironically.
Yeah. I will say, though, that I think if some of these feuds had been developed a little bit earlier, your card was really good tonight. And I don't know that you would have taken the same hit. But that being said, it's always a good time. I've been waiting for this. This was an exciting, group of cards. I thought everybody's cards tonight were really good. I think the fact that, it's the difference of half a star between first and last place, and a hype difference between Mana Unleashed and Gates of Eternity here does show that we are learning this game a little bit better. We're starting to figure out how stuff works. I definitely think that you and I both got a little bit hurt tonight, Chase, by the hype of our faction feuding, right? But I think that because you set it up earlier, that's why it paid dividends for you. You flat out set out 3 weeks ago in the game. And
I'm not going to claim that I got hurt by anything. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like that would be a cruel thing to say, given the results. I think it worked out great. I think my card worked.
I'm not saying it didn't. I'm just saying that I think that had we played perfectly, I actually think that you go even higher. Because I think that what you designed with your faction feud is what I was trying to do tonight. And, it worked out a little bit better for you because you set it up sooner. But I'm trying to take away the gameplay lesson here, which is just that, you build those faction feuds in and you keep it running week to week. I mean, what was your faction feud at coming into this week?
I mean, I had multiple factions above 100 something.
Yeah. So again, that base hype, which benefit me in the first card that we learned, pretty. I did not take the correct lessons away that you did, clearly, because you got it set up in time. I came in with much lower base hype, And even though I still had a good card, and again, not saying you didn't have a phenomenal card, because you did, but I do think that it's a good takeaway for everybody here to understand that if you build those faction feuds up over your weeklies and from pay-per-view to pay-per-view, when it is time to pay them off, you can go even higher than you and I did tonight. And the fact that we didn't hit the ceiling for that should be a lesson worth taking away for everybody.
Walter, do you have any thoughts here while we close out tonight?
No.
Oh man, look, I'm proud of the card I made. I do feel like a couple of my competitors maybe deserved a little bit better than the game gave, but I have spent everything I've got. 2 of my 3 faction feuds are blown off, and the third is gonna have to be blown off in a weekly. The next pay-per-view, I cannot keep this up, but I will point out, I won the first set of weeklies. I won the second pay-per-view. I tied in the second set of weeklies, and I won the third pay-per-view. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, come at me, bros. I would love to be competed against and have a real challenger come at me. That is the challenge I issue out to y'all. I hope that could be motivation here. I didn't want to be the heel, but that's where I'm at 3.5 points in this competition. So here we stand. But I hope everyone at home enjoyed this. I hope you all had a good time, maybe a slightly better time than Walter's ended up with, if nothing else. Let's get into some plugs here. Walter, where can the nice people at home find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me at C80s_LOL and at C80s.bsky.social.
That is correct here. Go give him praise for the card that the game didn't, because I still believe that was a good card, and I disagree with how the game ranked it. And I'm not. That's,
I don't need your fucking pity.
I'm not trying to give you pity. Anyway.
I don't need your fucking pity.
Xander, where can the nice people at home find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Tentacle Coach on all socials. I've got some big coaching stuff coming up if you're a league player for the new season, so please check that out on Metafy as well. And then naturally, I always got to shout out CUNY BC Esports. If you're a collegiate gamer looking for a good program, we could be your next home. Or you might just want to watch some top tier esports action for collegiate. So yeah, Brooklyn College, CUNY BC Esports.
There you go. You can find me at chasewassenar.bsky.social. I'm also on Twitter, I guess, but don't find me there. Find me on bsky. It would encourage me to spend less time on Twitter if you followed me on the better version of Twitter as of right now. Or if not the better version, at least the one with fewer Nazis on it. So that's my preference.
Man,
Go find me there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my competitors. This has been quite the show. We have a silver pay-per-view coming up in 2 weeks. We have weekly shows that you can follow on the Red Shirt Crew podcast YouTube channel. Maybe I need to rebrand that YouTube channel. Maybe I need to come up with a better name for it. I made that way back in the day, back when I was in college, doing a lot of bad podcasts that you do not need to go back and watch. But you should definitely go and check out all the weekly shows so you can get moment-to-moment updates on what's being built here. This is still anyone's competition to win. We are only a quarter of the way through the competition, not including that sneaky little tournament that Xander may have hinted at. So be sure to keep following. Be sure to follow us so you know when the next stream happens. And until next time, goodbye, Internet.
Take care.